wish I could be strong, survive all on my own, but now I'm running out of hope. I need somebody else to save me from myself, a love too precious to let go. I've been searching for some
is season 14 of the Simrigs Sprint Series. Yes, 14. It's gone quite fast. But this year, we're back to 10 races. It's one of our biggest in quite a while. And I can't wait to kick off round one tonight. We've got brand new weather settings for the series. No round will be the same. There's going to be some quite spicy races. There's going to be a guaranteed medium to heavy rain race. Yep, that is right. So we won't be able to tell you until the round coming up what they're going to be, but you wanted spice, you're going to get spice. This round we've got 6 splits, 250 drivers across 3 regions. And obviously on Friday nights now, we're going to have the Motorsport Australia Sim Magic D33 Cup featuring the best in the business. And the Sprint Series is a little bit of practice for some of those drivers racing in that series. It also opens the door for some opportunities for other drivers to get on the podium in the Sprint Series. But welcoming into the commentary box, we've got the amazing duo. We brought out the big guns tonight. Welcome Alexis Bowen and Mitch Hobbs. How are we going?
Yes, hello, Mole. It is great to be back for another season of the Simrigs Sprint Series, and I cannot wait. There's so much going on, and it is going to be an amazing time for Octane Online Racing. It is going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Cannot agree with that more. Hello, everybody. Cannot wait to commentate. Usually I don't commentate on a Wednesday since I'm usually in this split, but I decided to head up just the GT3 Cup, so... yeah, Mull's brought out the big guns. We're here for round 1 here at Silverstone. I can't wait. This is going to be a great start to the season.
Thank you very much. Well, we are back for another season, and I mean, what a track to come back to. Silverstone, one of the greatest racetracks on this planet. Put pretty much any car around here, and it's bound to make a very, very good, clean racing.
Oh, absolutely. Silverstone is always one that people tend to get excited about. They're, close racing, nice tight circuit in some parts, get the nice 2 long straights, and I mean, what more could you ask for? But of course, before the race, what comes first? It's qualifying, and we're here now for the 12 or 13 minutes of qualifying. I don't know, maybe it started a bit early. It should be 15 minutes of qualifying, I do believe. So I think it's only just started now. So the drivers coming round to get on their first hot laps, and we'll get a bit of an idea soon as to... I mean, look at that livery. I didn't even want to start talking about liveries just yet, but sure. That's insane, that livery. I love it.
Yeah, that certainly has character to it. Bruno Gallo's Laundry House Racing entries. We get first lap on the board, a 58.5. Do note that the track condition is currently only fast, so we won't be getting the absolute best times in just yet. It will take a little bit before the times really start to kick in.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll probably get a little bit more fast in times if that does go optimum, because we're at 15 ambient, 16 degree track, so as Malik said, we do have some more variable weather conditions over the servers, so I mean, that's going to provide some absolutely class racing, some great racing over the halls. We stick on board here with Bruno Gallo coming through Stowe now, coming towards the last sector of the F1 section of the track, but of course, then halfway through the track for the GT3 cars. Nice run through here, just ran a little bit wide on exit. I think he's a touch tight on entry, but that's okay. What a great exit that was. I mean, 3/10 up, so I wouldn't be complaining about that. He's going to come up to, I believe it's called Hamilton Straight now. I've forgotten half the names of the corners of this track. Now through Abbey they come. And Bruno's done really well. He's kept it nice through there. Just lost a bit of time. I think he might have been a little bit cautious on the throttle there. Now, through Village, what can be done here? He's gone for... oh, that's too early on the turn-in. That's way too early. He's going to lose a lot of time with that.
Yeah, it's always very tricky to get it right at the loop. I've always struggled to get that corner right in GT3 cars, F1 cars, whatever car, really. It's such a tricky corner because when you're turning in, it's almost blind. And yeah, that's an example of how not to take it, but he's still up by just under 0.3 per second. What can he do through the final few corners at Luffield and Woodcote? Cross the line, he's gonna lose a bit of time, but he's gonna find some improvement and move further up with a 58.3.
Yeah, solid time there for Bruno. I think he'd probably be kicking himself a little bit just because he couldn't quite get the time. Although, someone to challenge him here, Mia Rose is 1.8 up, was almost up for pole there. But still plenty of time to go using all of the track there. He's going to go 58.6, only 0.2 off what Gallo's done. So I reckon she's got a bit more in the tank there.
Yeah, knowing Mia, she certainly has more in the tank to follow on with. Now here is Steele in the Ferrari. He's currently about halfway through the racetrack and about 7.5 tenths up. So he's got a lot of time in hand, but he runs a little bit deep into Village. That might compromise him a little bit going into the loop. Takes a wider line and yeah, does lose a bit on the exit.
He had pole on the Delta there. I saw it. He just, if you can get that one a bit right, I think he's got a good chance to be up there. This is what Mo was saying, you know, different drivers not doing the Sprint Series because they're doing the GT3 Cup, some doing both for practice in this. So we're going to see some new drivers on the podium, which, I mean, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, exactly. It's always nice seeing a variety, but Steele might still be able to get close to that time. No, loses a bit out of Luffield, but will move himself up into expected P2, I'd say.
Yeah, wow. Now that's a really good time there from Steele, and I think there's still some time in that. Here is Sasha Death, though, in the Ferrari. Has decided to take the Ferrari once again, was in it last season, has decided to continue heading the Ferrari parade, although Steele at the moment seems to be heading that one. Mia Rose 0.2 behind, Death 3.5 behind, Herod's only 8/1000 off Death, so nice close time there. And you got some of the pro-ams behind, which is great to see. Coming through Stowe now, a bit squirrely, just needs to get past Mia Rose there. Coming down through Club. Ooh, that McLaren was very distracting there. You saw Death completely miss the braking point there because of that McLaren. That is unfortunate part of just trying to get out of everyone's way in qualifying. Can get a little bit distracted, but that's okay. Still, I mean, if they had just not been distracted, I reckon that would have probably been pole almost. They're still on a fast track at the moment, though, so these are not, of course, optimum times, but at least gives you a rough idea of pace at the moment. That could change, although Death is up. Ooh, it's a bit early on the turn in. Oh, Burst has just come and taken it on pole, but it's going to be a tough one to beat.
Well, it's not by much. It's only by a hundredth of a second over Gallo, and Death is currently up half a second and is looking likely to take provisional pole at this stage, provided there are no drivers in these final few corners. Nearly loses it through Brooklands, now through Luffield. It's a long right-hander. Can they get the exit? Yes, they can. Herod now goes just a little bit faster there than Burrs did, but Death will come across the line now.
Yeah.
Even faster again, so 58.2, so times are starting to drop a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be invalid. Death's going to come in. Is the track going to go optimum before the end of the session? Is it going to be a last lap dash to get those times in an optimum? We don't know. Riley Price here at the moment, sitting P16. And quick maths tells me that's 7th in Pro-Am. So a good showing so far. That delivery, look at that. That's really nice. Bruno Gallo.
It's what the New Zealand flag should have been.
Absolutely. This is Gallo, half a second up now and still climbing. He's going to lose a bit on exit. Just couldn't quite get it held up. But, I mean, this is going to drop us into the 57s on fast. This is a cracking lap time. Yeah, 57.9. That's a really good time. Obviously, as I said, temps are a bit cooler, so may not be specifically realistic to the usual 22 ambient that most people are used to if they're doing hot lapping or stuff like that. But even so, times do matter. Doesn't matter how cool or how hot it is. 58.8 there for Loz, goes up to P8. Oh, that's another funky livery.
There's some really nice liveries in Split Yellow again this season. Last season there were some great ones. This season there's some great ones again. So It's nice seeing that tradition is following.
Yeah, absolutely. Pethy now is up on his time, coming down to Brooklyn's Luffield. See how he handles this one. Oh, doesn't quite hit the apex there, but that's okay. Looks for an early turn. He's going to double apex this one. Not a bad strategy. Now the final corner. It's going to stick 2/10 up, 2.5 tenths. So there's one position at least coming for him. Going to get past Lindsay Metal in the 889 Mercedes and does so. So got a bit of time now between himself and any cars around. But of course, anything can change with the track conditions and drivers just, getting improvements. Lucas Burst, I think, is just getting out of the way of everybody in his brown Nissan.
I think the color is meant to represent how most people would feel about the Nissan.
The Nissan, yeah. That is definitely how a lot of people feel about the Nissan. Now, coming out of the final corner, Steve Davis was there. McDonald is on a lap now, currently P16. So a little bit down the order than what he's used to, but I'll say that 6/10 up, so it's going to put him right up the order again. Coming through Abbey now. Let's have a look at the run. All of the track being used there, so nice use of track. Just can't touch squirrely, but that's okay. It looked squirrely under braking there too. Coming out through Village and the loop. Let's see what can be done out here. Oh, lost a touch of time through there, but it's gaining a little bit on exit, so that's a good start to this part of the sector for him. Now down half a second up. So there's probably a top 10 position at the moment for him. Let's have a look through Brooklands then. Luffield can be done. Oh, that's really wide on exit. I don't think he's going to get the exit there. He's going to have to compromise it. He's going to lose a lot of time. Oh, he had it, but yeah, just couldn't get the exit that he wanted. So it's going to be up. Or is it still going to be top 10? My brain can't really work that out that quickly. It's not. But, I mean, look at the times up ahead. It's a 10th between 3 or 4 drivers.
Yep, here is Herod in the Honda. Lost a little bit of time there, going onto the Hamilton straight. Needs to find something if he wants to get ahead of Death, and even more if he wants to take provisional pole away from Gallo in the Porsche. Running now through into the loop. Can he keep it consistent on the exit? No, he loses just a little bit there. Still only a 10th down. That can be gained through these final few corners. Now down the Wellington straight. Speed of that Honda in a straight line will run fast towards Brooklands.
Absolutely. It's just a wider entry there for Herod. That's okay. Now, Luffield, what can be done? There was time there, but just can't quite handle it. So he's got 1 lap left in it. Gallo is still on top with a 57.9. Death snuck into P2 there. Adkins is going to get up 2 for maybe 2 positions if the time here can be held. Currently fighting for P1 in Chrome, and that's extremely wide. It's going to stay valid though, but there's going to be a lot of time lost there. So let's see what he can get through Village and the loop, because he'll look for quite a bit of time. Early turn in. Lost a lot of time doing that, so this will possibly be lap over where we are. Might just get sneak one more in with about 15 seconds to go. Here's Herod now, 2/10 up after Maggots and Beckett's. That's a really good start to lap for him. What can he do down the hanger straight here into Stowe? Let's keep an eye on this now. Doesn't shift up to 6th. Early on the brakes, goes for a late apex, gets on the power as soon as possible. Down through to Vale and Club now. Let's see what can be done. Oh, it's a nice apex through there, using all the curb and track possible. Really wide there, so that's going to lose a bit of time. Couldn't get the grip on exit. Still just trying to keep it valid now. I mean, 2/10, that's going to be P2 if he can hold this one together. Never mind that thought.
Used a lot of the inside there, taking as much of the curve as he dares in that Honda. But he's got to try and get the turn in right at Village and into the loop. Oh, he's very deep, very deep. That's all the time gone. Can he? Yeah, he's going to be struggling now, and Steele's gone ahead of him now up into P3. So he's going to need to find at least a 10th if he wants to get ahead of the Ferraris in this final segment.
5/10 up was Burst. I saw that. That was really good. Let's see what sort of exit can be done here. don't ever, as commentators, you don't ever really like commentating people that are losing time and lose that like Herod, and you don't really know what to say, but you just got to keep rolling with it. 3/10. This would be a P2 start here for Burst. Maybe if you can find a 10th and a half through here, it could actually be pole if Gallo cannot find the time. There's definitely something he's slid wide, though. There's a lot of time lost there, so Burst is just doing everything he can. Can he get it on an exit? I don't think he's going to. It may not even... Oh, he can hold it, though. I think it's just going to hold on for P2. But he looks like he had pole in it. Goes P2. But, of course... Oh, Steele is half a second up here. Has the track gone optimum right when he needed it to? Surely.
No,
It
track is
hasn't.
still fast.
Wow.
So this is all just in the car, in the driver for Jack Steele.
Wow.
This is a phenomenal lap so far. Can he hold it together through Brooklyn's Luffield Woodcote? Now, coming through Brooklyn's now, he's got to just keep it tight.
good
He's
line.
got a lot of time in hand now. He's got heaps in hand. This should easily be provisional pole as Gallo is done. Death has snuck up into P2 right at the end there, but it will be Jack Steele who will be crossing the line as one of the last drivers to come across the line.
Wow.
And he is going to dominate qualifying and
57.6.
take pole position with a 57.6.
Wow. Yep, optimum 17:21 track conditions. So this is what the drivers have been waiting for. Optimum race conditions. There is... I have to check the race settings and find out if there's a mandatory pit stop or not. One moment, caller. There you go. There is one mandatory stop for tyres. Pit window opens 5 minutes in and closes with 5 minutes less. You can refuel if you wish to.
I would recommend it. I wouldn't
as well.
I wouldn't say like start the race with max fuel and then just stop for tires because either way fuel's going to fit in the tire change anyways. But what a lap there from Jack Steele in suboptimal conditions and in his Superman inspired livery. He has snatched that pole position away.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't really ask for more. Pole position in round one. I mean, this could just be me, but that's sending a huge statement to someone like Gallo, who we've usually seen up the front sort of on pole positions depending on the split. I think he's going to be under a lot of pressure to perform here.
Oh yes, definitely in that rust bucket of a Porsche.
No,
Sasha Death.
Yeah.
Death doing nicely up there in P3. Burrs somehow getting the Nissan up into the top 5 and on the second row of the grid. Then Herod rounding out that top 5 in the Honda. So a good mixture of cars actually. Quite a few Ferraris up there, I will admit. But overall, there's some different cars. So we look at Mia Rose's beautiful BMW, I will say. Another BMW to the right. That is a stunning McLaren livery. What the New Zealand flag should have been in that referendum. Plenty of beautiful liveries on this grid. Well, I like that from the 05 Motorsport entry. It's a nice color palette on that Ferrari there, and the Lamborghini, the OES Lamborghini.
Yeah, the OES teams always have nice liveries. No bias there, that's just what I've noticed.
Yes, there we go.
So who is that on the left? It's not Tommy in it like I thought it was. It's obviously Dream.
Yeah, well, Dream's unrevealed face reveal.
Yes, exactly.
That golf.
Yes, Mullick approves.
That is an early... that McLaren is an early contender for best livery of the season, as the formation lap is now getting underway.
Absolutely, drivers getting a move on here, getting their tyres nice and warm, getting their strategies to their optimum operating window is probably the word you could use there. We'll
different strategy. That's okay.
What do we break? Awesome. Yeah. The technical difficulties, we just decided to break everything.
Yes.
And then we
It's
can get
very,
our commentary stream going again so we can see what we're actually doing.
yes.
I mean, we can just pretend what we're seeing. We can do that.
Yeah.
It's like there's a cow off to the left, I think. I saw that.
Yeah, we're still in the formation lap with, they're just going down the Hamilton straight now. Jack still leading away. Looks like we're under a virtual safety car for this formation lap.
We sure are. Drivers will come around Village and the Loop and probably be instructed to get into double file for the race start by their race director.
And once that call is made, we will be ready to get cracking for what is to be season 14 of the Simrigs Sprint Series.
It's been going for so long. I remember starting in season 3 and thinking, wow, this is great. This is even better.
Yeah, like back when I started, it would be like season 2 or something. It was far, far different to what we have now. It is evolved so much over the years, and it is great to see.
Yeah, drivers come in and out, new cars come into the game, new tracks. What more could you ask for?
That's right. But we are getting ready to start the new season with Split Yellow here at Silverstone. It is a 60-minute race, one mandatory pit stop. And we've got Steele from Gallo, Death, Burrs, Herod, McDonald, Rose, Loz, Adkins, and Piper, your top 10 to start this race. They'll round Woodcote now and jump onto this start-finish straight. And we will be getting underway very, very shortly. They're approaching the gantry now, and we are green. It's a good start from Gallo on the outside. Can he try and get into the lead? And he does. He has managed to get the jump on Steele. Now it's 3 wide between fast-starting Burrs, Steele, and Death. But Burrs gets up into P2 after starting P4. That is a great start from the Nissan. Everyone seems to be falling behind. In camera 2, we have a car off and just avoiding the barrier. Looks to be number 5. Oh, there's a bigger crash back there. There's a few cars involved in that one. But
yeah,
either way,
no safety car.
Great start by Gallo and Burrs. Now it's side by side between Death, and that's thrown inside. Burrs has made a mistake and has allowed Steele through, but the Ferrari diamond up the inside. Death has allowed Mia Rose to get up on here. Can Rose try and go around the outside? No. That is way too deep from Death. Can they avoid it? How it's there not being a calamitous crash?
There we go. There it was. I saw some collision coming. That's not what I was expecting, I will admit. But wow. There was a lot going on. There's a lot to break down. We'll probably have to break that down a little bit further into this race. We want to keep on board for the lap 1 here. Coming around, here's Adkins. That's Piper just up ahead. That's Loz just in front there. The McLaren might look down the inside. I believe that's Price. Just going to stick the nose in there. May do. What can he do? Oh my goodness. I don't think Adkins is going to win here with that batter. Yep, I was right. Just sneaks up the inside. What can be done? Adkins can't do anything about it and has to stick in behind.
So great opportunism there by Price. He gets the move done nicely there on Adkins. Adkins just compromised his line slightly. But out front, Gallo has a 1.3 second gap over Steele, Burrs, then McDonald, Herod, Rose, and Loz, Piper, Adkins, and Price, your top 10 at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a frankly start to forget there for Steele. Back up to P2, but Scott Burrs right on the tail. That thing will be a rocket on the straights compared to the Ferrari. So That'll be one to look out for there. McDonald here in P5, I believe, just had a bit of a scrap there with Sasha Death just before when they were both going through Stowe, and McDonald's had another moment there coming out Maggots and Beckett's. This is Mia Rose now. The scoreboard's having a freak out. I don't know who's where. McDonald is in fourth. I don't know what to believe anymore. Oh, Mia Rose slips it up the inside of Stowe, onto the inside of Herod. Couldn't get anything done. May look to the outside through Vale and Club. Herod closed the door. That was a really good decision. Was just in front enough to get that one right. They're going to come around now onto Hamilton Straight. Herod just a little bit uneasy on the exit there. McDonald's in a good position here. Is breaking the slipstream. No real point doing the Hamilton Straight. Not going to get a huge advantage. Coming through Abbey now. That Honda took a really tight line through there. Used all the track possible. Is Herod going to look for a move? Looks to the outside. Tries to defend Mia Rose. Mia Rose looked to the inside. Herod now is going to look for a better exit. It's not going to get it done. Mia Rose is in a prime position here to maybe get something on Herod, but that Honda on the straights is just going to be silly, isn't it?
Yeah, and we'll have a nice slipstream down to Wellington Straight on McDonald. Can Herod try anything around the outside of Brooklyn? It's going to be tough to get a move on there. Mia Rose is ready to capitalize if these two come to blows, and McDonald defends brilliantly, but Rose can't get anything done, so Herod stays in P5, but he's still trying to look for something possibly on McDonald, as Gallo sets a 58-1, the fastest lap of the race so far. Now coming towards the infamous Maggots and Beggots complex. Going side by side through here is practically a death sentence, so...
No, what do you mean? It's not like you're going to die and end up in the wall across the track, no.
Clearly not. It's 100% certified and safe.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't tried it myself personally, but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's probably not something you want to be doing unless you have a clear advantage going in through the corner.
Oh, Mia Rose had a clear advantage on brakes there. Holy moly, that even had me worried. McDonald going a bit wide here. Now, this is something we haven't mentioned yet. Track limits at Silverstone are much easier to get than people might first think. So
track limits around here are quite strict. I mean, there's a lot of tarmac runoff, so there's always going to be issues with track limits. But we take a look at a replay of lap 1. Now, this is going into Maggots and Beckett's, trying to go side by side through here, as we said. Death sentence, and especially when you try and go 3 wide, that is not what you want to be trying to do.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't advise going for that sort of an opportunity, but sure, that's okay. We're all here for round 1, just settling in a bit. Of course, people just trying to work out who they're racing, because they're probably racing some people they haven't raced before. So they're just looking to settle in, work out everyone's driving style, who's driving what. So, I mean, it's, all part of racing. And I'm just in shock we're still in season 14, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, as we look at more action into Maggots and Beckett's. Oh god, what is?
I don't
going
like
to be...
the look of this. Oh, a bit of a Oh. Okay, that.
So the McLaren, they just seem to be taking it very, very cautious, and maybe almost a bit too cautious into Maggots and Beckett's, and little bit of a traffic jam behind. Oh dear, Herod, that was super loose from Herod into...
he got it under control.
Yeah, the Honda can bite when it does that, but that was great control there by Matthew Herod in Disciples of Speed entry.
Have you seen the Audi through Maggots and Beckett's?
Yeah, it ain't much better.
No, it's not very good. I tried it the other day, testing for GT3 Cup, and yeah, it's killer through there if you get it even slightly wrong. By looking at that, I reckon Herod's got the breaking point wrong, and I was right. Just way too late there, so Mia Rose is going to look for the advantage. Sticks to the inside. Herod doesn't have a lot that can be done here. Sticks the inside. Mia Rose, I think, is going to pull this one off. I reckon she will. I don't think she'll pull in front, though. She actually looked like maybe backed off for the Honda. Oh, that was a bit scary. May have just planted foot down a bit more. They hadn't found 100% power, but now later on the brakes goes Herod. So there's a little bit of a backwards and forth here, but Herod's now got to worry about Loz behind, currently leading the Pro-Am class. Sasha Death has had a moment. She shouldn't be that far back.
No, they're a long way back now. So yeah, Death has had a potential death. I mean, there was a bit of a few incidents involving Sasha Death on the first lap, including that maybe slight missing of the braking point into Vale.
Yeah, just a tad, but it could be worse things. At least there was good avoidance there, and McIntosh sort of picked up a 10-second for out of position on that one, so the stewards are already bashing down their hammers and saying, "Here's, you get a penalty, and you get a penalty." It's like the Oprah Winfrey of OOR, the stewards. You get a penalty.
Yes, well, I mean, if you're out of position on the race start, it's a pretty fair penalty to get. It is enshrined in the regulations, as we have a 10-second penalty for jumping the start from Riley Price. That's
I've not actually seen one of those penalties handed out in the time I've been commentating.
Yeah, it's a rare one, but given it is round one, so those penalties
Herod's had a moment.
Yeah, Herod's
10 Maggots and Beckett's. You jinxed it.
Oh dear. But meanwhile, Piper was able to get past Loz into the Stowe corner around the outside. It was a great move. But yeah, unfortunately, Herod has tumbled down the order down to P15. Oh, that's loose from Loz.
Ooh, what's happened here? As Loz... Ooh, what a great avoidance from Loz. Okay, yeah, it's gone for the full 360 there from Herod. That's a interesting strategy. That McLaren absolutely sent it through Abbey as well. So 2 drivers at the moment with a 10-second penalty and more to come, I dare say.
Yes, I'd say so.
Ooh, wow, coming through Village and La Loop now. On to Wellington Straight. What can be done here? McLaren behind. Truong's got a 10-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 2. So more penalties coming the way of the drivers. Not the ideal situation for these drivers, getting penalties so early, because as the game does, you do actually have to serve those penalties in your pit stop.
Yes, you do have to serve penalties in the pit stop in this game. I think John summarizes things best. The Honda is great until it isn't. Until it isn't,
yeah. That is it's a very good summary. It's the same with the Audi. It's great until sorry, I'll rephrase it for the Audi. Audi is great until it really isn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Audi things are certainly prevalent.
Oh, definitely. In the this update, they're a lot more prevalent, I dare say, than they have been in the past. You make one thing wrong, yeah. Hello, wall. Carlson's got a drive-through. I hope that's not for track limits, but I've got a sneaking suspicion it might be.
That's an interesting line there by Stockton in Ferrari.
Okay, what's going on here?
There's
deep in favour. That's okay.
Bit of battling going on here between the AM class drivers of Payne, Stockton, Faber and Icarus.
Absolutely. Now, just need confirmation from somebody knowledgeable. Silver class drivers are just people who haven't been classed yet, correct?
I believe so, yeah. From memory, at least.
Yeah, it's always usually how I remember. Jurassic Park livery, though. I do like that livery.
Yeah, that's that is quite the livery on Faber's car.
Uh-oh, Cody Carlson's come to complain that someone's taken his last name. Oh, there we go. Silver class will be those who didn't submit a livery. Yeah, that'll work too.
Yep.
Sure. Well, here's a tip. Submit a livery. Just a thought.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah. Oh, unclassified all haven't submitted a livery. Okay. Thank you, Race Control. See, Race Control just fixes the stuff. Although, wow.
57.9 from Jack Steele. That's a very nice lap time. He's starting the chase after Gallo and is taking Burrs with him somewhat.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not really what Steele wants. wants to keep burst back. I think, to be honest, that Nissan is just piling on the pressure on the straights. That thing is ridiculous. We're on board with Arno Loz. I'll get there. Could be Lowe's. I could be completely butchering the pronunciation.
I think for now we'll just stick with Loz.
Was, yeah.
But yeah.
Good gap to Adkins does Loz, but it's just a slipstream train here. Finally, someone who understands me. Conan understands. Missed the boat. Thank you. Someone understands.
R.I.P. Bertley.
Oh, that was almost R.I.P. Loz there. Adkins just missed the breaking point a tad, but did a very good avoidance there to not cause a collision coming onto Hamilton straight.
Yeah, it was very, very close to disaster as... Oh, Adkins is really pushing that McLaren around. But Loz is looking quite quick behind the Audi of Piper. This is great stuff from the prime driver as we see that there's been contact between McDonald and Mia Rose.
Yes, Mia Rose. Yeah, pink BMW means only one person. So that is not where Mia Rose wants to be. It's called the grass, but this is where Lucas Burst wants to be in P3. Tom McDonald, yeah, has dropped way back now. And Mia Rose is there too, so they're going to continue fighting. So some free positions there for the guys and girls a bit further up.
Oh, I have a feeling there may have been some contact between the two.
I just realised what Conan meant by the boat. Conan means the Nissan and I mean the Bentley.
Ah.
Well, I still missed the Bentley. The Nissan...
Yeah, I missed the Bentley.
Nah. Oh, side by side through here. That's a... let's go with an unwise decision. Let's use the words unwise. Because we're all wise here. No, we're not. We've got the combined age of about 10.
Yes. Oh dear, that was very deep from McDonald.
I hope this is not a dangerous rejoin. Okay, nothing dangerous about that.
Oh. That's...
Sure, yeah. I don't really know what else we can comment regarding that. That's just a bit of a chat from Mary Rose. Sure. We did the sportsmanlike thing, though, just to hold back. Knew that there was a mistake made. Let McDonald come back through.
Yep, it's the kind thing to do. Now that battle continues to rage on, as does this one. Loz has just dropped off the back of Piper a little bit and has allowed Adkins to start an assault. Nearly runs off the track.
Yep, nice close battling here. Adkins, I think, might just be biding time a little bit here. I mean, we're 15 minutes into the race, so I don't think we're really in for any pit stops as of yet. I say that and there's someone in the pits, but that's okay. Still plenty of time for people to make their mandatory pit stop for tyres. Of course, those couple of drivers will have to serve those penalties in the stops as well. So Adkins is in a good position. You can see the train of cars behind. There's an even bigger train of cars coming through Village and La Loop. But
sorry to interrupt, but it looks like Burrs has gotten past Steele, maybe. Yes, he has. Yeah. Burrs is past Steele.
And there's a car off 331 at Abbey's. Had a bit of a moment. Okay.
That's Nathan Wilson.
That was about 3 donuts I saw there.
Yeah.
Could have had dessert with that one. Ooh, I just caught the end of that. There was a bit of... Ooh. So got back on the track. Right.
I see.
Okay, so it was 1 donut, but a donut that wasn't needed because it just accidentally did a thing. Sure, go with that.
Yep. Yeah. Couldn't quite catch the full incident there, but it's safe to assume he just had a bit of an oopsie.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming through Maggots and Beckett's now onto the hangar straight. Nice run. Bruno, the pit stop requirements are 1 mandatory pit stop for tyres. Can refill fuel if you wish. It's probably not a bad strategy in my opinion. And the pit window closes with 5 minutes left and opened with 5 minutes into the race. So drivers do have a fairly wide range to pit stop. Maybe that might change with the up and coming races. We'll just have to wait and see.
Who knows? But right now we're
Well,
looking.
We don't.
No,
No. We don't need to know. We
no.
just
Well,
talk.
yeah. We're just here to talk and have a bit of fun. I mean,
Yes.
right now we're looking on at George Cook, who is chasing after Steve Davis and is looking for a possible move up to P17 as oh dear, T-Max dropped down the order once again, is now P13. Mia Rose is still in P9, so I wonder if T-Max made an error there. But we'll keep an eye on Cook's onboard behind the BMW. That should provide a healthy load of slipstream, but can't do anything to catch the BMW on the Wellington Straight.
No, couldn't quite even. I mean, with that slipstream, you'd think the case, but maybe that BMW is running a touch lower wing than the McLaren, even though I'd have thought, well, can't really talk because I'm not huge brain, but I would have thought they might have been running fairly close to maximum wing on this track in most of the cars.
Meanwhile,
Some other cars.
yeah, a few drivers have entered the pits, namely Mia Rose and Jesse McLean. So some early pit stops being made now. We look on at Stockton just running a little bit wide there. Looking ahead to, I think, is Muddle and Payne.
Correct. I think Muddle's the only Merc on this grid as well.
Wow, that's quite differences. Payne's made a little bit of an error through Chapel and has allowed Muddle to get around the outside down the hangar straight, and we'll have the optimal line through Stowe. But Payne breaks very, very late, and there's a nice switch back there that allows not only Muddle through, but Stockton as well. So Payne loses a few positions there. Will we go for a move? No, but Stockton's very deep on the brakes, but so too is Payne. And yeah, that both making the errors just compromises both of them there.
Yeah, I think Muddle kind of saw that break deck coming, and then Stockton just decided to follow on through. Well, the answer to your question, Ethan Kale, no, I'm not doing Sprint Series this time. I thought I'd just hop in the GT3 Cup this time. Some of the other drivers come on through, have a bit of fun. Here is Jake Faber in that Jurassic Park livery Ferrari. I've got to say, that's a very creative livery. I don't think we've seen a Jurassic Park livery, at least I haven't, in the Sprint Series at any point.
No, it's I don't think I've seen one either, but it's quite nice. It's getting the
approval.
Yes, the seal of approval there.
So is that the idea? If you get that's Payne. I was going to say
yeah, wide from Payne. Yeah, he's
so
struggling right now.
Approval from the owner, does that mean that you've made it in life? Is that how it works?
Yes.
No. That's a bit rude. Hello, Chris Withers at the moment. Oh, that Ferrari, that was really wide. I think Withers is going to make this one look pretty straightforward. Ooh. I reckon Withers might have backed out there a touch, knowing that Ferrari might come back across. Oh, that was a look. And Payne's going to hit the grass and possibly spin. Ooh,
that's Faber.
Oh, yeah, they tapped.
Payne.
Oh, my.
Oh, dear me.
Oh, my. I actually just flinched at that incident. That could have gone very badly, but Payne has held on to that one. And up the inside of Withers now. Going to go later on the brakes. I'm going to go too late on the brakes. Yes.
Too late.
Right, I'm going to go side by side maybe. No. Oh, here comes Faber. Or around the... Okay, I'm smelling bad things here. Yep. Ooh, that was the slightest of a kiss there on the rear end of Withers. He does love that Aston Withers. I don't think I've seen him in anything else as of recent. Yeah,
no, it's been a while since I've seen Withers drive anything else of note other than the Aston, but then again...
yeah. People always pick their one car. We don't talk about the fact I've driven the Ferrari for literally 95% of this patch, but we don't go there.
Well, Payne is looking quite fast, but he's just maybe going too low on the brakes into most corners.
Yeah, just trying to push it a little bit too hard, I reckon. So Payne just might need to hold back a little bit now, just keep it a bit more consistent. still 37, just under 37, 38 minutes to go almost in this race. Let's have a look at how close this was through Maggots and Beckett's with Faber and Payne. Just ever so slightest of taps. Just look at the counter steer from Payne there. Just gave it enough just to sort of drift it into the corner. What more could you ask for? That was just technically brilliant.
That's wallpaper worthy, that one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, wallpaper where he's put his wallpaper on his car.
Yeah.
Although, Steve Davis here in the air. M4's in a little bit of a scuffle here with McIntosh, who does have a penalty, so that's not going to be... Herod's had an incident again.
Oh dear. Yeah, Herod is
not
not having fun at the start of this season.
No, absolutely not. Don't go 3 wide. That was almost going to be 3 wide, and I was going to be very concerned. Steve Davis has just pulled that one off. I was very worried about him pulling in front of McIntosh there, but it's done very well. It's going to come through onto the Hamilton straight now ahead of these two.
Yeah, that got maybe a bit too tight, but
maybe.
He did make it work in the end. So fair play, Steve Davis. He moves up into P12 for the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Did everything well there through Village now and the loop. A little bit of a tighter line there for Davis. He's not going to get the optimum exits that maybe he'd want to, especially in a car with turbo lag like this thing. Does have a 6.3 gap to Perkins, so nothing really for Davis to do other than just use the clean air and keep consistent and maybe use it as an opportunity to pit maybe a bit later, go for an overcut here if possible.
Yeah, well, we are starting to get to the point where you'd expect more pit stops. So we see Loz is into the pit lane in the BMW. Right now, there's still plenty more drivers that need to come in. So quite a few are probably looking at, if not at 30 minutes, definitely within like the 5 to 10 minute window afterwards.
Yeah, that's right. You might get the 1 or 2 crazy ones who push it a bit further.
Yeah, and I think
I'll rephrase that. Crazy is not the right word. Alternative strategy.
Brave fellows.
Yes, all of the above.
Herod's had enough of those tyres and probably the Honda at this stage and has come into the pits.
Yeah, nothing really much further needs to be said there for Herod. Coming through, Abbey now is Gallo down to Village and the loop. That car looked a little bit airy through there, but pulled up nicely. I mean, why does it matter? He's in P1's got almost 3-second gap to Burst, who's actually pulled out that gap to Steal a bit. They are keeping up, so I mean, 1.3 seconds, you can make that up in a pit stop if someone makes a mistake. That's all it takes. Even 3 seconds if someone missed their pit box and they get picked up and dropped and picked back up again. There's your 3 seconds. That's 5 seconds gone easily. Anything at play here still for the top 3.
Yeah, this has been a great display from Burrs in an unfavored car, to say the least. That Nissan is a bit of a slow car in this current patch.
No, what do you mean? It's not that slow.
It's
okay. Maybe it is, but that's okay.
Fab is still trying to fight out with Payne. Gonna have to go down the weak straight. It gets loose, so that's gonna end that potential assault. More drivers are coming in now. You see Godfrey is in the pit lane from P10. McIntosh also in. He'll have to serve a 10-second penalty.
I'm sensing Faber coming into the pits with these tyres.
Well, here's Icarus on Kranich. Oh, that is very deep on the brakes. That is way too deep. Oh, dear.
No, that's not where the... What's Truong doing? Oh, my. Oh, my.
Truong got very loose there.
Few things going on here. Truong's just... I think he's blue flagged. That's okay. He just needs to get out of the way.
No, Truong is there.
That's okay. I must just be seeing things. That's okay. So Truong is in this battle with Icarus and Wilson. Loz isn't, and Loz would like them to get out of the way fairly promptly, but Of course, they're technically racing each other, even though the front 3 or 4 here haven't pit as of yet. So Loz needs to get past pretty quickly because he might lose a fair chunk of time. See that the drivers, Chris Withers gets a 10-second penalty for a collision on lap 3. As Icarus is having some issues. Slipstream for Loz with Wilson. Nothing Loz can do here if these two want to fight. Just going to have to hold it. Okay. So Wilson chucks it in, does pull it up for the apex. They've got Truong up ahead that they're fighting. Loz probably going to get a bit impatient here, but of course, got to stick by the rules. That's how we play. My goodness. That was late on the brakes. That had me worried.
I reckon there might be a few brown flag moments for these drivers, as Truong is continuing to struggle a touch. Now has Kranich up his inside and gets it done now. Here comes... No, that was Wilson. Sorry, that was Wilson. Now Loz, yep. Oh dear, that got close. Oh, that is tight. Oh, Truong.
No. Loz is... Oh dear, Loz is in a world of pain now. That's going to be too much time. No. Is there like a bell we can ring for the stewards? Is that an option?
I don't really have any.
Yeah, let's just move on from that. Mia Rose, 909 BMW Queen's Design car. Currently coming out of the final corner. Yeah, just trying to find things to say.
I may be biased by the color scheme, but this is a beautiful livery. I am.
Yeah, biased. La biased.
Yes. It is.
Your favorite color's pink.
It is.
I don't know if it is. I just took a stab in the dark.
Certainly up the old dear Perkins is sped in pit lane.
Sped in pit lane. That'll be converted, I believe.
Yes, that will be converted into whatever penalty is suitable.
I think it should be 10 seconds. That's usually what it's converted to.
From memory, yeah, it's like 10 seconds or whatever.
I'll work it out.
Although if it's speeding in the pit lane of a serious nature, it would just like stand, but it is being changed and it will be converted predictably to a 10-second penalty.
Absolutely. Here is Paul Kranich with Mia Rose at the moment. Of course, Kranich still needing to pit. Rose has pit, so Rose is probably wanting to promptly get through on Kranich, but...
Well, yeah, Mia will want to get through as quickly as possible because...
And Kranich lets her go. Yep, that's a smart decision there from Kranich. I like that.
Well, Piper is now just up the road, and that would be for proper position because Piper is just coming out of the pits.
More positions for Mia Rose by the sounds of that.
Yes. Of course, Mia Rose did have that little coming together there with T-Mac earlier in the race. Be interesting to see if anything actually does come of that incident.
Brooklands now. What's going to happen here? Bit deep. That's okay.
We all go a little bit too deep sometimes.
Next. No. I left that one wide open. I was hoping no one was going to take that up. Ooh.
15-second penalty. I would almost say that is lenient.
Yeah, but is that for the incident that just happened, though?
Oh, well,
I mean, I'll take an educated guess. It probably is.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably around it. Oh dear, there's been a lot of speeding in pit lane. Scarney's got speeding in pit lane. Price has got speeding in pit lane. Now, I'd almost dare say 15 seconds might almost be a little bit too lenient, but these are the stewards at the end of the day. They know way more than I do.
We just talk.
Yeah. That's still our job, is that the stewards have got the tough part. But no,
sure do.
That is, yeah, a few drivers making errors coming into pit lane, but they get it as a very fast pit entry around here at Silverstone.
I wonder if someone's knocked off on accident, they've knocked off the pit board.
Well, quote-unquote accident.
We'll see about that.
No, Scarny would is currently our lead driver who has taken a pit stop, but yeah, has had
Are we going to look at the pit board? What's going on? Where are we going?
we
Oh,
going
yep,
around.
yep. Bit right, bit more. Yep. Keep going. Yep.
Let's take a look.
Ah, there's your
Oh
answer.
dear. Oh dear. Yeah, there is
Yes.
there's no
There's the
board.
pit line, and there's no pit board.
Oh. How
There it
fun.
is. How the bloody
how
hell
has
has
it
that
gotten up
happened?
there? That is a long, long way.
I don't even know what to say. That's insane. But sure, go for it. So the drive-throughs are getting 5. Oh no, there we go. They're getting converted to
10.
10s.
Yeah, it's just taking a little bit to be applied. That is okay. It is being applied nonetheless. Herod, meanwhile, is trying to find a way through on Perkins.
Battle. Oh, that was a nice line. Oh, not the best line from Perkins there. Oh,
Herod is having a lot of trouble with this car.
No.
Oh dear, Stockton has also sped in the pit lane. Oh dear. Yeah, okay, so that missing pit entry board is going to be hurting quite a few drivers.
I hope those that are yet to pit have seen it. Sorry, I say have seen it. I haven't seen the pit board, but have seen that it's gone.
Or have been told that it is gone.
Oh, you don't tell the drivers that. They're going to work that out for themselves.
Oh, you never know. Someone might have a someone in their ear.
Yeah, this is true. Tarquin saying it's a long pit entry. It is actually quite long, but when you're doing the speeds that you are, it's not actually that long because a lot of people try to, well, as we've probably seen, people like to try and get in there fairly promptly.
Geller and Burrs have sped in pit lane.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Okay.
And Steele has not come into the pit lane yet. So if Steele manages to keep within the speed limit, he is in the box seat for this race.
Okay, well, all eyes are on Jack Steele now. How many pit speeds have Steele? 400.
Yeah.
I think we're at about 6th. 7 maybe? More?
I get that you're missing the pit entry board, but surely you have like a brake marker, like elsewhere that you can use. Oh, I reckon he's got it pulled up. That looked fine.
Yep, I like that.
Jack Steele is in a very, very good position in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. If he did pull that up, which it looked like he did, I mean, at the pace that Galler was going, is it going to be enough? I don't think so. Galler's going to be on the slightly worn tyres. Well, that's the thing, Chris, is that, yes, the line's still there, but no one looks for the line.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, can we have a formal inquest, please? Yes. We need to know.
Well,
we won't
whoever
name and
took it-
shame on the stream. I need to know for my personal reasonings of I need to know.
Yes.
Right, that's why. Oh, dear.
No, Faber's had an off.
Ooh.
Oh dear, that's a fast moment.
That's just that's maggots for you. That's too much curb. That's simple as that.
Very much so. And yes, Steele did get it pulled up. There is no
Nice.
penalty.
Yeah, he'll be pleased about that one.
He'll be behind both drivers, but he is right there.
Yeah, but I mean, 22 minutes, 10 seconds is what they need to pull out. Is it possible?
I wouldn't think so, because Steele had the pace of Gallo and Burrs, if not just very
Faster,
slightly
yeah.
down.
Yeah, faster or slower, depending on the part. I mean, you need to pull out pretty much, I want to say 8 to 9 tenths a lap at the moment, and I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, no. Certainly going to be tough for Gallo and Burrs, as Death gets 15 seconds for causing collision on lap 4. Oh dear. Death has unfortunately died a slow death in this race.
Yes, I think that was definitely a heavily deliberated one, because if you get those later, the early incidents later, you know it's been heavily deliberated on. Oh,
Okay.
Perkins. Ooh, that looked a bit squirrely. He's got Godfrey just in front. Going to go to Abby. I wouldn't be going too wide through there. Ooh, got fooled a bit. Speaking. Oh, Mia Rose has got a 15-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 7. That will be that hit with McDonald.
Yep, I was waiting for something to happen with that one. I was expecting there to be an invoice for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. No real surprise here. Although a big surprise, just slightly off topic for 2 seconds. If anyone, you're probably too young, Alexis, but anyway. I mean, so am I, but I watched it. Has anyone seen that? Thank God Yahir's coming back.
Yes! Yes.
I can't wait. Yes, Malik's excited. Yes, we're all excited. And Celia's hosting. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, Celia Qual, that's going to be good. I am so excited for that, because I never watched it. Like, Dad didn't watch it either, so we're both very much excited to see that.
Some of the... Oh, another penalty for me.
Dear. Oh.
That's going to be 30 seconds of pens. Yes, everyone is keen. Absolutely. Someone's asked, how's 2:30 going? Can we get a 2:30 update? Someone, please. Thanks.
2:30, I believe, would be the other Carlson. Yes, as Ryan Carlson, who is currently down in P32. So not having the best of times, and has blue flags on Jesse McLean. So we'll
slow through there, though.
Jump out of the way. And...
I've just noticed something. See if you see what I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's taking a 30-minute drain.
Well, unfortunately, that's a little bit too far out of reach for this
Well,
race.
you say that, but what's in between that 10 and 30 minutes?
I have a feeling that's going to be a bit... I have a feeling
medium
it's gonna be
rain.
sunshine.
Medium rain won't come straight away. It's got to be light rain first, theoretically.
Even then, like, it would come with, like, what?
But I want
a minute to go.
Rain.
Yes, it's rain, but it's only like a minute's worth.
With 5 minutes left, that'd be great.
It does put a lot of pressure on the drivers, though, which is good. Speaking of pressure, Steele is currently about 6 seconds back from the race leader Gallo, and 3 seconds back from Burrs. So right now is in the box seat to take the win, but needs to hold that margin.
Yeah, absolutely. Steele needs to pull out a whirler here to... he's got people with 10 seconds around him, so I don't think he's got to worry about losing positions.
It's more just time, because he's got heaps of gap to Scani, who is in P4 at the moment, but with a 10-second penalty. There's going to be quite a bit of movement post-race with penalties.
Ooh, absolutely. A lot of 10 seconds. The scoreboard, the leaderboard is just red.
Yes. And, of course, we do have a few 15 and the 30-second penalty of Mia Rose there.
Yeah, absolutely. So some big movements there with that 30-second penalty for Mia Rose. We'll drop back a fair few positions. I reckon about 10 positions, maybe not quite. We'll just have to wait till the end of the race to see that one. Jack Steele, though, Oh, that's a great team name. What a shock he called his team Man of Steel.
Yeah, man of steel. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
more penalties. Why not?
Yeah,
Go for it.
keen.
Yeah.
15-second lap 1. So that
He
is.
wasn't keen for that. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one.
As
Yeah.
Adkins is putting a bit of pressure here on Mia Rose, it looks like. I think Mia Rose has just lost a bit of time with the age of those tyres. Now Adkins is going to go up the inside. No, can't do it there into Brooklands.
Well, it's not that you can't. It's just that it wasn't in the prime
Yeah,
position to do so.
it just wasn't possible at that. Adkins does not seem happy. He's just flashed headlights at Mia Rose.
Yeah, absolutely.
So clearly not happy with something. Not sure what that is at this stage. Oh dear! Don't try the. Okay, thank you. Why am I saying that like Adkins can hear me right now?
No, so none of them can hear us, so we could say whatever we want.
Well,
We could say that was a lot of grass and that was a bad exit. You're not going to hear me say that.
well, I mean, they might have the stream going in the background.
Yeah, but that would do my head in.
It would do my head in as well, but we're not here to judge.
Oh, look at Hampson chat. Don't be so keen for penalties. He's on the same wavelength as me. We're almost on the Sneakers wavelength. That's a big target to reach, though, on the Sneakers wavelength.
Oh, the sneakers wavelength is.
Yeah. I hope JP is not watching. So he's not. It's fine.
I know John was here earlier. Yeah, Mia looks like she's struggling a little bit through some of these fast corners, while Adkins is getting a lot of pace.
Yeah, pace looking good, but there's a fat BMW in the way.
Yes,
Quite a big one.
typically when there's a BMW in the way, you're not going to get past very easy.
Although allegedly, from what I've heard, the Ferrari is actually wider than the M4.
The Ferrari?
Mm-hmm.
Is that possible?
I don't know. I'm going to look it up, though. Oh.
More penalties. Yeah.
My
Okay.
goodness.
Okay. It's definitely the Oprah Winfrey of penalties tonight.
Yeah.
T-Mac getting 15 seconds there. But again, Adkins is getting a lot of pace through these fast corners, but just can't do anything with it because there's corners where you cannot.
Ah.
Yep. I was wondering if
Yeah.
that flashing would cause an
Yeah.
issue, and it has 5 seconds for an infraction. So more penalties. Oh, you summoned JP, by the way.
Have I?
Yes.
What did I do? Oh, you didn't hear that. No. No. Don't be so silly.
So, many drivers with penalties tonight, and many drivers who have accumulated penalty points tonight, and there is still another split on the way. We have,
I take back my statement. The Ferrari is 10 centimeters not as wide as the M4.
oh, yeah, I was wondering for a minute. I reckon Steele is looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, looking really good. He's in a great position. Pace is good. Penalties up ahead. What more could you ask for, really? Yes, Dam. That's Dam Buster. That's right. Flashing lights does incur a penalty if it is a car that is not blue flagged to you. And if it is deemed to be distracting and the driver reports it, you will get a penalty. Simple as that, really. Nothing really further to say. I mean, 5 seconds, to be perfectly honest with you, not going to affect the position of Adkins at the moment.
No, right now it would, and even if he gets past Mia Rose, it is not going to affect position
Ah,
Oh,
that might. That will.
Oh, good save. Good save. Very good save.
Although that's Piper just up ahead, and Piper does not have any penalties, so Piper needs to get a move on. I mean, really, he doesn't have to fight them and could just let them go with the penalties they have, but it's going to be a tough one. Adkins has made a real balls up of turn 1 there, and Maggots and Beckett's, so that could lose that advantage head to Loz. Bruno Gallo at the moment is in the lead, but of course, as we've said 400,000 times, there's a lot of penalties, and he's one of them. Sorry, he has one of them. He's not a penalty. He has some.
I reckon he's the opposite of the penalty. I think he is an unpenalty almost. Because
is that a word?
No, it is not a word, but
no.
You could sort of gather what it could mean.
I mean, his driving certainly isn't a penalty. He's driving brilliantly.
Oh yes.
Steele is actually catching Burrs at a rate, or 1 or 2 tenths a lap.
Yes, Steele is driving very nicely at the moment, and again, in the box seat to take the first win for Split Yellow this season. But there's still 11 minutes to go, and that rain's disappeared off the radar.
Damn it!
Ah, but Gallo is quick. He's just set the fastest lap, and Steele's gone and beaten it.
Yeah, sounds good. That was sort of expected. I think Steele just had probably been holding off using the tyres a touch just to make sure they were in the right range, and starting to push now. Maybe wants to close that gap a bit more to Burrs and to Gallo so that it get... Okay, that's an interesting line from Scarney. That's a lot of grass. Held it, though. Does have a 10-second penalty, though.
Right now, that would only drop him down... Well, you jinxed, Piper. You done it now. He's got to drive through for track limits.
Jesus Christ.
So, no one is safe today.
That's turn 1 as well.
Yep,
that is a real finicky corner for track limits too.
Yep. So,
yes or no.
So, Ascani's 10-second penalty for speeding in pit lane right now would have no effect on his finishing position.
Yeah.
He would still finish in P4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is...
To be honest, that's not something I was expecting to see. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Let me find out how long a drive-through is at Silverstone.
It's... I'd say like 25 seconds.
Almost, 23.
Oh, not a bad guesstimate.
Yeah, but it wasn't right, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was 2 seconds off it. I should do better than that rather than just guess to the nearest 5.
Yes, exactly.
But then again, I typically don't like guessing odd numbers. Unless it is a multiple 5.
Yes, this is very true, but my favourite number is an odd number.
How dare you have a favourite number that just so happens to be odd? Although, I cannot speak because my racing number is an odd number.
So is mine.
Hooray. But yeah, there we go.
The only reason I know what your racing number is because you consistently called it out when we raced together in Sprint Series.
At least it wasn't Car 3.
Oh. Let's not even go there.
Yeah, it got called out.
If you know, you know.
If you know, then you well and truly know. But yeah, no. Car 3 and Car 91 were certainly common calls over the Voice channel.
Absolutely.
Back in the day.
Oh, Adkins here. Still, I mean, 3.7 to Piper. I don't know if that's particularly factual, but we'll see when...
It is not factual, because Piper was just in the pit lane serving the track.
Ah, that's better. Yeah, that's looking a bit better.
So right now, yeah, this would have no effect on Adkins' position. In fact, Adkins would move up a position because of Mia Rose's penalty, and is not far off of gaining another position from Scarney's penalty either.
Yeah, going to lose time with Mia Rose, so if Adkins wants this position from Scarney, he's going to need to make a move pretty
Oh,
quickly.
I don't know. Mia's not particularly slow now. She's picked up the pace a little bit more.
Oh, that's a lot of curb there from Adkins. I mean, he's fighting for both higher position and a win in Pro-Am if you can get it.
Yeah. He does need to make some moves, though. He's got 7.5 minutes to go, so it's definitely not over.
No, absolutely. It's far from over, but I mean, 6 seconds now. I just done just over 6 seconds, so
Well,
a lot's gonna have to be done.
well, really, he only has to gain 1 second.
Wow, yes.
So it's definitely doable.
Jack Steele, though, has got under a second to Lucas Burst now. What's Burst got to Gallo, though? That's the question. 5 seconds, so still prime candidate here for the win. Jack Steele, something has to horribly go wrong for him to lose it. I think he's just going to try and stay consistent.
Well, yeah, Gallo needs to gain, like, over a second a lap now.
Absolutely, yeah. And I don't think that's possible at the moment.
No. Unless, yeah, again, something horrific happens, but fingers crossed that nothing like that occurs. But Adkins is nearly within that margin he needs to jump Scarney on penalties. So there's a lot to play out in this one.
Absolutely. So, bit of a mistake there from Burst. I actually think there's almost more penalties on this leaderboard than there are not penalties. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 penalties there and 23 in the first bit of the leaderboard.
Yep, so...
Oh dear.
Unfortunately, you are wrong.
I was wrong, but there's a lot of penalties.
There's a lot of penalties, yes, but you were still
only
wrong.
Needed two more penalties to be right.
Wait, 23. That's the same amount of time it takes to do a drive-through at Silverstone.
Burrs has made the mistake.
Yep.
I think Burrs, he's done the right thing there. Is let Steele through. Knows he's not really fighting him with that penalty. So let's have another look at that one again. From in view... What's happened? Locked it. Just locked it a tad. Tried to save it. Couldn't quite get it right. Oh, nice. The race controls had a moment. Has sent a driver who's not even racing a penalty notice. That's good.
Well, congratulations. You have now gotten a penalty in a race you are not even participating in. How do you feel?
I mean, there is a car 11, okay, but just not you.
Yeah.
That's okay. Race control has its moments.
Yeah, the race control bot likes to do race control bot things.
Ooh, 6 seconds to Gallo now is Steele, so maybe if there's a mistake, Gallo.
No, that was the gap before. It was just the fact that there was a Burrs in between that made it seem like it was less.
So Burrs now in the Pooh Brown Nissan. The top 6 has penalties. Right.
Well, everyone in the top 6 bar Steele.
Oh yes, everyone in the top 5 plus Steele. There you go. Sure, I don't even know how that works. And
yeah,
Price has got a
it don't work. It don't work.
Price has got a Jesus Christ. I don't even think I have words to be.
So Stockton gets 15 seconds to add on to his 10. Price has gotten to a drive-through for track limits, presumably while racing with Cook and Piper.
Yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
Piper knows how it feels to get a drive-through for track limits.
Yes.
Right. Okay then. Let's go with that.
Scarney's made a mistake and has dropped down and...
Yeah, you can't fathom it, can you? This is round 1, isn't it? It's round 1.
Yeah.
It's
round 1. It is round 1.
If someone can find me an explanation, tell me. Because,
And Faber has gone off, and there's a lot of penalties back here.
I just can't help but laugh.
There's a lot of damage.
Dear.
That car is now a dinosaur.
Yeah. Yeah, that's ooh.
Oh dear. Chad, are you okay? Chad,
Yeah,
Chad.
Chad, are you okay, Chad?
Earth to Chad.
Earth to Chad. Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh, yep.
Oh, there
We've
we go.
got to have a calm. All right.
Oh,
Cool.
yeah, it is
Cool.
definitely a round one.
Yeah, that's okay. Only where's the leader? Should be one lap to go after this.
Yes. And Steel is actually closing a touch on Gallo, so
Yeah.
Steel will take this win, provided he does not do anything stupid on this last lap. But
Yeah.
yeah, we will have just enough time for one more lap, and it will happen just before the rain arrives. How fun, even though it's like a
A
single
light rain
drop.
shower. Yeah.
It's just a single drop of rain and then it's gone.
Yeah, that's right. But Gallo now, P1 at the moment. But of course, yep, penalties. Sure, love those. Coming round Luffield now. Down to the straight for the final time here in Split Yellow. Down towards Cops. Had a solid race, did Gallo. Didn't put a foot wrong up until the point where the pit board had disappeared and he sped into pits. That
Yep.
was just the mixing point there that just didn't quite sit with the drivers all that well.
Yeah, that's certainly a few that are unfortunately missed the pit line and sped in the pit lane, but
You're
yeah.
right.
Again, it's round one, and there was no pit board, so yeah,
Yeah.
it makes it tricky. It makes it tricky.
Yeah,
But
it does. That's just unfortunately how it is sometimes. You have to deal with those little curveballs, and Herod's back in the pits.
uh,
I think there's been another incident for
yeah,
Herod, maybe. Let's have a look.
that is not Herod.
That's not Herod.
That's not
No,
Herod.
that's not either. That's not.
I don't think we're getting Herod.
That's fine. You get to see some of the cars again.
Yay!
Yeah, we've got it right back at the pits.
Ah,
Disconnected.
that
Understood.
explains it.
Yep, drive through. Price is serving that drive through. Gallo comes around the loop for the last time here at Silverstone, down the Wellington straight now towards Brooklands and Luffield. Adkins here will actually take the Pro-Am win from Eric Scarney after we thought that there might not have been a battle there. Gallo round Luffield now for the final time, coming down to the start finish straight here at Silverstone. Is finishing P1 on track, but after penalties will not finish P1. Will finish P2 though, because Burrs has 8 seconds to Steele. So Steele's going to come across the line for the win here at Silverstone. Burrs is going to just finish just under 10 seconds behind in the Nissan. What a great run that he's had. Rose will come home P4 on track, but it's got 30 seconds penalties, and Fabers picked up a 15-second just at the end of the race there. Scarney will come round behind Mia Rose as well with that 10-second penalty for P5. Adkins will get up and take the Pro-Am win from Scarney. Scarney won't actually drop back behind Loz as well, so Loz will get P2 on the Pro-Am as well. We'll check in on that once the race finishes. Look at the final standings, because it's just too confusing for some people.
Yeah. Yeah. And Petty
Another
Bridge
one?
gets a penalty as well. Here comes Steve Davis, one of the drivers who did not get a penalty. He crossed the line there in P8. Then you'll have Cook, Piper, Pettybridge, Godfrey, Perkins, McDonald, McLean, your top 15. Then Price, McIntosh, Death, Stockton, Fisher. Oh, Stockton's got 15 seconds penalties as well. Yeah. Again, we'll have a look at what it looks like post-race, because there's a lot of penalties. Oh my, Stockton has 40 seconds worth.
He still hasn't beaten my 45 seconds. Wow. Stockton across the line. Fisher's going to come across 2. Round the final corner for MRT. Here's Payne as well. Had a solid race, couple of moments there. Withers will come around as well with Icarus, and Truong will be in there as well in the Audi. Here is Damo Icarus. And we go, the race finished for Split Yellow. Herod with that disconnect, so he's going to finish just towards the back there. Gallo did have the win in his hands until the pit board decided it didn't want to be where it was anymore. Stockton doing some fat skids.
Hopefully they have a groundsman to work on that.
Yeah, they're going to need it. I think you might just be taking out his anger, to be honest.
Yeah, have a bit of fun, why not?
Yeah, no reason not to.
Yeah, that's it.
The session just doesn't want to end.
Yes, I assume because Herod technically hasn't crossed the line to finish the race.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
So we will have to wait until it times out, and then we will carry across and take a look at your final classifications before we shift over to Split Green and a new set of commentators. I believe we have JP, Sneakers, and Sean Bubnow.
There we go. Crossed to the results. We go now. Let's look at the final results after all those penalties. So, in the race, Jack Steele does take the overall win and P1 in Pro. Gallo takes P2 overall and P2 in Pro. And Burst takes P3 overall and in Pro. Adkins there takes the Pro-Am win from Loz in P2 and Scarney in P3. And then in the Am class, Payne takes the win. Good drive from him. Icarus takes P2 and Stockton takes P3. And in the silver class, Bishop, Keane, and Truong, your top three. A couple of penalties in there, of course, and Carlson at the back there. In P4 kept going throughout the race. So, an interesting start to round one here for Split Yellow. Hopefully, the other splits are a little bit nicer than that, but that's just what you get with round one. There's nothing really more we can say, is there?
Yeah, it is one of those things that you're always going to get with the start of a new season. There's always going to be some rustiness, a few things that we need to iron out, but no, the rest of the season, which I mean, we do have quite the long season coming up. It will certainly be a better affair, that's for sure. But we'll be crossing over to Split Green very, very soon, which myself and Mitch will be parting ways, and we'll be welcoming in JP Sneakers and Sean Bubnow into the commentary booth. But until then, we will just hold out for a minute and wait for the commencement of Split Green.
Absolutely. I'm just praying that Split Green is a bit nicer as we are joined by the old farts. Oh, sorry, our other commentators, Jean-Pierre Sneakers and Sean Bubner. How are we going, lads?
Wow. Very good, young man. I'm very good, thank you.
You're very good? Yes, yes.
Excited for racing, yes, thank you.
Can you speak up? I'm a bit old.
Yeah, what was that?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, no, I'm well.
Yeah, that's good.
Did you want us to?
Very toxic welcoming. I just want to say that.
No,
but I am very excited.
No, it's a new
season,
JP.
Should I push him off of your lawns for you?
Yeah, get off my front lawn.
Yeah,
Goddamn kids.
Right. No, that's okay. I think that will signal our departure, and me and Alexis will see you next week for round 2 in Split Yellow.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
guys. You young lads have to get to bed. It is probably past your bedtime already, so
Yeah.
let's get that going. Hello, Noski. It's good to be back.
Hello, Peach. It is good to be back. Been waiting for this for a bit of a hot minute. So welcome back to, what season are we now? 14, I think?
It is season 14, yeah.
The Simrigs Sprint Series with AP Green now showing us the joys and the skills of Silverstone.
Yeah, absolutely looking forward to it. Silverstone, fantastic track. Really enjoy racing it, practicing it. It's a fun track to hot lap, and it makes for some good racing. We saw a couple of incidents in the previous split, but I'm really excited. I'm very happy we have Split Green to do, because this is going to be an absolutely phenomenal split. The type of drivers that we have in here with Benjamin Hignett, Giacomin, Liam Hamilton, Strelnikov, we have Stefano Ricciuti, we have Benjamin Vintner, we have Tom Maloney, we have Jovan Lee, and Jack Brown as well, and Lewis Kugeli, who is not racing today, but there's some really, really fast names in this split that will certainly make for some spicy racing up the front, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of battles throughout the rest of the field as well.
Yeah, no doubt. There is a lot of pace in those names you mentioned, for sure. And you see that on camera too there, Peach. I believe that is also known as your arch nemesis. But going by what I saw in the previous split, drivers will need to know that 50 is the limit. Otherwise, it's going to be a sea of red of 10-second penalties, as we here at OR convert them in speeding in pit lane to 10 seconds.
I would like to point out that my arch nemesis is the pit exit board,
Oh,
not the pit
exit.
entry board.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yes, no, I don't have any vendetta against the pit entry board. But yeah, we are here for round 1 of season 14. As you said, we are at Silverstone for a 1-hour race with 1 mandatory pit stop where the drivers have to change their tires. There's a pit window of 50 minutes. We have rain coming in 30 minutes. Hopefully some of that stays around for qualifying. I think that would really spice things up right off the bat.
Yeah, no, rain always is the ultimate coin flip, isn't it? At the end of the day, some people practice it, some people don't. But yes, it's going to be spicy nonetheless. Maybe some drivers have practiced in the wet, and maybe some have not. I, for one, have not. So it'd be fun.
Yeah, I have done about 4 laps to get some tire pressures, and I completed one of those laps, so I think that counts as a practice.
It
But
definitely counts as practice.
speaking of practice, we see Connor Hind there with a 56.8, which, who, for anybody who's done some laps around Silverstone, that is a phenomenally quick time. That is very, very, very up there in terms of any form of a leaderboard. But there's not too many drivers that are far off of him. So with qualifying about 30 seconds away, I'm getting very excited. Actually, if that's the case, I'm almost hoping that it doesn't rain in qualifying, that we get some rain in the race would be fine. But just to see the outright pace of some of these drivers really be on display in qualifying should be quite exciting.
Yeah, indeed. I would love to say I'm capable of doing something that quick, but I am definitely not. Therefore, you'll never see me do a 56 unless, I get an extra 700 horsepower in the car I'm driving or something. But yeah, I wouldn't bet it, but that's insanely blistering time there. But yeah, Hignett's roughly a 57.2, then Tom's doing mid 57s there, 57.6-ish. They're all wicked fast times. So
I have a distinct feeling that maybe Hamilton and Jovan Lee were doing some race pace runs there. I saw Jovan Lee in a practice server earlier, and he was sitting on a 57.3, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And we know Liam Hamilton is a very quick driver, so is Tom Maloney. I think I
so
would be, so is Ricciuti, yeah, but I would be very, very surprised if we don't see at least 6 drivers under like a 57.5 here when qualifying comes around, if, of course, it's optimum.
yeah, well, we'll find out momentarily as we're watching the last few little drivers trickle around the track for the final time of that practice session, and then hopefully we get, as I said, optimum track would be ideal. See the pure pace that some of these drivers here are capable of, because it's certainly fast as all hell. Quicker than I can go, that's for sure. You're up on that point, Ian. What's it like being that fast?
I'm not that fast. I'm not as fast as Connor Hind is, unfortunately. But
You're getting there.
yeah, I mean we're around there, and it's fun, but it's a bit sweaty. You really need to put some time in. Like you'll see Connor Hind in the practice server and Hignett and them in the practice servers very often. Looks as though we have a dry track for qualifying. The question is, what is the track conditions? Will it be fast? Will it be green? I think the previous qualifying started on a green track, so hopefully we won't be seeing that. I didn't see Strelnikov setting any laps in that free practice session, so the track is green.
And
Temperatures of
15-15.
15, so I think it's very...
Slightly cooler than last split. I think that was 16, 17. Oh,
Yep.
maybe it went to 16, 17. I'm not sure, but that's definitely cold.
something like that. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, these cold conditions help in terms of the pace, but the green track certainly doesn't help. So it's really gonna throw a little bit of a spanner in the mix and really make the timing. Ooh, that's an interesting pit entry there by Rahul Semuana. Can't park there, mate, unfortunately.
Well, he could park there. It's not.
I mean, he
like
did. I mean,
illegal.
but he's not allowed to. So Chris
Well,
Hingston
allowed.
here. That's a beautiful livery. OES BMW livery there from Hingston. Really, really nice design. We saw some beautiful designs in the previous split, and I'm sure once we're on the grid, we'll get a good little walkthrough of the liveries here. But I think it's about time for the first prediction of the season, Noski. So we're gonna go to
Ooh.
you, and you are going to call the top three
Top
and
3.
roughly what the pole time would be.
Oh God. All right. So Connor's a safe bet. I think in the top 3. He's probably going to get P1 in quali. Let's say I was going to say a 57-1, and then. Whoa, God, there's some fast people. Maybe Hamilton for P2 for sake of it. He'll probably do like a 57-3 maybe. And who can take the bottom rung? I'm going to go a bit left field and say Tom Maloney with a 57-4.
Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit more pessimistic than you and say pole time will be a 57.7. But I'm gonna call it for Strelnikov and Connor Hind on P2
Ooh.
and Liam Hamilton on P3. That would be my top 3.
Yeah, I'm not taking into account that the track's fast now. It might help him, but we'll see.
It evolved from green to fast very quick in the previous split as well, but then it stayed fast pretty much all the way through qualifying. So the track will obviously still evolve as it goes through, even though it's not going to go optimum necessarily, but there will be a fair amount of track evolution. So as I said, it's very important to get that timing right. Make sure that your final run with the lowest fuel is on as late as possible in the session, so you can get the most out of the track. But yeah, I think we're going to start seeing some drivers on their first flying laps here. We see Hignett here with car 705 ahead of him, which is Connor Hines. So these are two guys who are in with a shout for that top 3.
Yeah, I've seen these two side by side many hours in the practice server of recent, and chatting to one another. I think in either their teams speak or discords. So expect very rapid times from both of these individuals. I think I saw them do. I don't know. Ben did like a low 57 on the practice server, so he definitely has the pace to be up there at the pointy end. So definitely don't count him out. Potentially could unsettle our prediction, but we'll soon find out what the flying laps will be as they come into the second last corner, also known as Brooklands. Look at that. I've got a track map up. I know corner names.
Yeah, good. That makes one of us, so you can at least correct me when I call the corner F1T1, which is what I usually do.
Also known as Abby.
Abby, yes, that's the one I know. Connor Hind there with a 58.1 as a banker. Hignett about 4 tenths down on that. Very similar to the type of pace we saw in the previous split there as well. A beautiful OES livery there from Ray Smith.
That does look very nice.
So we're not seeing any predictions from chat. I would like chat to get involved and tell us who is pole. Only Chris Taylor saying Connor for pole, but we have 65 people watching and 1 prediction. So I'm no math genius, but that doesn't quite check out. We would like to know from you, who do we expect to see on pole?
They're just crunching the numbers. They're doing all the spreadsheet work. You know, go for previous results. Oh, high on pole from Ethan there. John says Connor. Everyone's gone Connor. Cricky for pole. Look, there we go.
Tricky. That's a getting the underdog in with a shot there. Strelnikov there, go P2, Liam Hamilton, go P3. So that is my top 3, although Hind and Strelnikov are the wrong way around. Luka Jakomen is, of course, one driver that neither of us mentioned in our top 3 who has always been up around there. But I will ask you, what do you think, looking at the top 10, what do you think are the 2 sort of best cars around here in terms of what's being used in this split?
do you want me to go for the obvious answers of a Ferrari potentially, and then McLaren?
Ah, okay, no, that seems like a safe bet. Look at your comment here, 8 tenths up. That will put him well clear of Hindy at the moment, although he's lost a little bit coming out of the worst corner in the game. Not the worst corner, but just one of the worst corners to get right. I don't know what the line is through there. And he's
It's a
certainly...
left-hand line.
Anyway, he's lost a little bit of time coming out of the loop there, but he's gained a little bit back coming into the final corner here. Will he get a good exit? Delta staying fairly stable, loses a tiny bit on the exit there, but he's sort of maintained that. It would have been enough, but somebody has improved already. I think Connor Hind has done a 57.8. Ignat has done a 58,
Yeah,
well,
58.05
57.9, somewhere around there.
Octane.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, that's 57.9. Yeah, just. And I feel called out, Matty. I don't have an F1 map up, but ouch. But I mean, that's a common mistake. But I probably will stuff it up. So you know, give it time. We've got an hour of this ahead, plus 8 more minutes of quali. So there's a fair chance that I will well and truly butcher corner names along with Peach here. So that it's fine.
Look at Jovan Lee here. He is up with a second. That's going to put him into that top 3 battle, I suspect. Yep, there he goes, up exactly the same time as Benjamin Ignat there. You love to see it, and that just... I'm getting all giddy just seeing how close the split is so far.
Top
Really,
5
really...
separated by 0.3 of a second.
top 8, only 7 tenths then. That's not a lot of time difference, you know, so... Yeah, Strelnikov, he's definitely has a lot more time in there. Ignat, he's lost a little bit coming into the loop here, but gets a very good exit there. Now it's such a deceptive delta moment there where it always sort of increases and then you just lose it on the exit. Still up, but not by enough to get Connor Hind on this lap around unless he absolutely sends it
Gains it
into this
there.
final sector.
Gained a bit through bookings, but that exit was a bit compromised. Probably ran it slightly wide there. And let's see, yeah, the delta sort of come away from him, but the grip level was kept it flat. Will it get improved? Actually, the delta gets deceiving when it's flashing like this. It's probably going to be slightly slower. Let's see.
Yep.
There you go.
It is really, I love ACC for all its faults, but that is probably one of the most annoying things in this game, that a game that's purely based on freaking ones and zeros on numbers, that it can't calculate a delta accurately. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You cross the line with like a green delta flashing, and then you're a tenth and a half slower than your previous lap. Oh, Hignett, I was wondering why the delta went up so much. It was because he was carrying too much speed going through there.
Yeah, we've all done that mistake. And as you were saying earlier, this track is amazing for hot lapping. I will put it there. But it can also be insanely frustrating because you are sort of chasing that delta every corner. As we see here, Hamilton's 3 tenths or 3.5 tenths up to P6. Very nice. I think that's a 58.1. Very good. 6 tenths up at the moment for Tom.
Top 6 there, all within 3 tenths of each other already. And Tom, he spent literal seconds on this livery earlier, so really putting in the effort.
Look at this
but
for Delta. 8 tenths up at leaving the loop.
If he can get what's it, Brooklands and Luffield, I think is the final.
Yeah, well done.
If he gets them correct, he could potentially move up into that top 3 battle. He needs to really send it in here nicely. Very tricky to get. Really lost too much. This is where McLaren struggles a little bit, just getting on the power without losing that rear. As you can see there, it's a bit of a wiggle, bit of a going at the wheel.
Invalidated.
That is unfortunate.
The amount of times I have done that, thinking I'm doing so well, and then invalidate because I dip a wheel. Don't. We've all been there, Tom. I feel your pain. But head down. 5 minutes to go. Got another 3 laps-ish. If my math is decent, which is not that great, but we'll see what happens. But just sitting outside the top 10 at the moment, but keep an eye on it. He'll probably get a better time. He'll jump up the field, especially at the moment being half a second up, just leaving through the exit of Chapel there.
Just coming down towards Stowe, such a tricky corner to... you have to carry so much speed through there, so a lot of commitment on the brakes. Then you try and get in towards the apex. Misses the apex ever so slightly there, but he should be able to get on the power nice and early. Be very careful of invalidating. He stays well within the limits there, and he gains another 10 through there. Then coming into the Vale chicane, very tricky exit here, especially in the McLaren. Just doesn't really want to put that power down as effectively, but again, he's 7 tenths up, and he's coming into Abbey, correct?
Hey.
Freaking nailed it. And this is also a very tricky corner. You have to carry so much speed, so much commitment. And then my least favorite part of the track, stupid sausages that ruin so many good laps. He's gained so much on the brakes there. Will he get a good exit out of here? Very tricky to the side there between first and second. Great exit there. He's up more than he was on his previous lap. Still not quite enough to get pole, even if he does finish lap with this delta, but will he improve in these final 2 corners?
And the field to go. That line looks a bit better than last time. Might get power down a bit early, which he does. Gains another half a tenth. Let's see if he nails the last exit here. Up almost a second. It's looking good. He's nailed the exit there. He's going to cut the inside of this last corner, technically. And bang, P3.
Oh, P3. Very nice.
Very nice lap.
And Strelnikov with a 57.2. He is just ahead of Hindy, and they are all still doing laps. So will Tom Maloney be able to improve? That's a fantastic lap from him there. Look at Jerkoman, only 4 100s behind him. Hignett not too far off of that. It's just so close everywhere. Hindy there, he was improving, but he got a bit of a crappy exit there coming out of Vale onto the F1 main straight and down into Abbey. The Ferrari is quite strong through there, and he looks very settled coming out of there and down into a very important braking zone. Gets it into the apex nicely. Loses a bit on the delta there, but I think he carried a lot of speed on the exit.
More speed.
And
Well,
now
speaking of carrying more speed, there you go.
But there again, that delta just plays tricks on you. You gain so much, and then you just lose another 10 on the exit there. But he is up by a 10th, which will be enough for P1 if he can finish this lap out with the current delta.
Yeah, looking good so far. Oh, he's gained a little bit more there through Brooklands. Oh, as we shift back. But we've got 4 tenths up here at the moment. Okay.
So Hindy is firing a shot, but Strelnikov has a return lobby in his hand that he is willing to throw right back at him. Hindy will take provisional pole here. He has enough time for 1 more lap. Strelnikov will cross the line with
being a lot quicker. Almost half a second quicker now.
Okay.
57.2. Well, I'm in the right time frame, but just the wrong driver.
Yeah, no, I mean, the gauntlet has been well and truly laid down there by Strelnikov, and he's gained another 2 tenths in just the first corner there. So these drivers are very quick, and this track is rapidly improving. And I think we will see some changing in that top 10 in this last lap. Oh, he's lost a little bit on the exit there,
Have we gone optimum?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
No, it's still
Nope,
technically
still
fast. Wow, that is even more impressive then.
Yeah, these cold conditions are assisting, but I mean that is hyper impressive. Doing those type of lap times on a fast track is a special kind of fast. And we see Tom Maloney has called it quits. He is not going to improve, and he will be hoping and praying that those around him don't improve too much and he can stay in that top 3.
Yeah, and as Chris has said in chat there, hot damn, pace is hot. Yeah, it might be cold on track, but inside the cockpit of that leading Ferrari 777 car, it's definitely spicy in there. So he's bringing the heat.
We see Hignett here is currently sitting in P5. Will he improve coming through Brooklands and Luffield? He does a little bit there. A little bit of a poor exit, but doesn't really lose too much. Carries the speed through. Can he get under power nice and early? Loses a little bit on the exit there, but this should potentially be enough for P3. So it's going to be very close. What is Kuno's Delta doing? Yeah, it is P3 by the skin of his teeth.
Sorry. I get numbers confused. Tenths, hundreds, yeah, things.
That's
Lee's,
fine.
Lee's,
Lee,
2 tenths up now.
but
This
he's going to
complex
be
here.
affected. Yep.
It's always so deceiving because if you don't understand how to sort of do Brooklands a certain way, which is like obviously riding that inside a little bit, it can really unsettle and throw your car out for the last one, which is unfortunate. But it's a That's a
Absolutely.
speedy time. P4. Hold on, Lee.
I think he would have gotten P3 there if it wasn't for the Porsche ahead of him. He was completely entitled to staying on track. Skikluna here coming through the exit of Vale, I think. Yep.
Yeah, either one.
And coming down into Abbey. Looks like the Porsche is a nice old handful as usual.
Yeah, but he's got a hand on it being 2 tenths up at the moment. Into your favourite section of the track, where your Delta loves you and hates you in both manners equally.
Yeah, look
But
at
the
that. He's up
Delta,
2 tenths, and then you just bleed time on that exit every single time.
I have tried about 300 million different lines into that apex of that corner, and I still can't figure out which way is the correct way.
Yeah, no, I'm convinced that there is no correct way of taking that corner. It's just the luck
That's
of the
probably
draw.
my
That's
mistake then.
based on my science. But he's done very well coming into Brooklyn's a little bit wide into left field, but he gets a good good-ish exit. Going to improve by a tenth and a half, which in a field as competitive as this will be enough to put him up 2 positions into P12 there. So not a bad qualifying there. It is very unusual to see a driver like Stefano Ricciuti 1.2 seconds off the pace there in P9. Jake Brown here, 4 tenths up, coming into the final, if you want to call that a corner, I guess. He will cross the line and he will improve up into P9 there. Oh, this looks cloudy.
And we got everything wrong. I think actually no, you called the pole.
I call Stelnikov on pole at
Yeah,
least,
and then
but
Hignett 2, Lee 3, Tom Maloney 4,
where's
John
Hind? Where's Hind has disconnected?
Hind. Oh yeah, we have lost Connor Hind.
Where's Hindy? Please tell me he will get back in. That is... No, he would have dropped to the back of the field if he gets back in now, so hopefully they can potentially reset that on the outlap, I hope.
Yeah, well, hopefully if the race director generally would have the final standings prior to if any mishap did happen, so there should be enough time that they should be able to readdress their proper starting order if he can get back in. But that
But
was
anyway, yeah,
spicy.
qualifying done very competitive as we expected, but Strelnikov takes his first pole of the season in round one here. Benjamin Hignett in P3. Technically, we had Connor Hind on P2, but he seems to have dropped out for now. Jovan Lee, Tom Maloney, Luke Johnson, he snuck in there. And then Luca Giacomo, Liam Hamilton, Hingston, I can't remember the name, I think it's Chris, I'm not sure, apologies. Jack Brown, David Barker, Stefano Ricciuti, and Skikluna is your top 12 here.
Beautiful. Now I think as we're scrolling around here, about to see the lovely cloud cover. Potential rain on the horizon, maybe, kind of.
Hopefully. We saw in the previous, then...
Yes, we're saying yes.
Oh, that's
Now we
exciting.
get the joys of looking at all these beautiful custom liveries that these drivers have put together. There's a very
That's
nice looking Ferrari.
beautiful. That's not the best one, Benjamin. I'm gonna be honest. It's not my favorite Ferrari livery I've ever seen. It's not the worst, but it's just a bit plain there. Not quite as plain as Jovan Lee and Tom Maloney's liveries. Luke Johnson with that customary Castrol livery we have come to expect from him the last couple of seasons.
Jake Coleman in his standard orange. He had orange last season as well. Hamilton there. No, there's that BMW that you love oh so much. It is a
Yeah,
very nice looking livery.
it does look mean as hell with that sort of transition from the sort of scrapey look down into a plane and that big scrap or scratch on the side of the car there. Where's Hind? Apparently he's back in the server.
Oh, that's good.
So hopefully he will be able to rejoin in his position. Jake Brown, same livery as last season there. Barker has changed it up to a green one. Stefano Ricciuti with his Italian-inspired livery there. That is
A stealthy
a
Porsche.
black Porsche, and it's quite a nice Lambo livery. Who's that? That is who? Okay. So
It's
it's one of those
Tasman.
that didn't load quite correctly there.
Yeah, we're missing a front bumper on that one. That's a Monza or Moza. Sorry, instead of
Moza.
Monza.
And
Another one
that's
of
the
your ones there. Very
red one. Looks
nice.
very nice.
That actually, I don't mind that Lamborghini there.
Yeah, that's nice.
Got a
As
bit of a
Sean
soft spot
Miller.
for the Lamborghini. Oh, there goes Connor.
There goes Hindy. That's good to see. That looked like a Red Bull Porsche passing by there, which looked quite nice as well. Damiano Thurcolini with his very inspired livery there. Hold on, I still think I have a message from him where he explained in detail what the meaning is behind it. I'll quickly try and find that.
Good luck with that. But just a shout out to all those that actually spend the countless hours of making these custom liveries for some of our drivers. Much like myself, I do not have the brain cells nor the capabilities to work out the wireframes and all that. So those that put the effort in for the individuals like myself, our hats go off to you for your fine work. Because without you, the grids would not look as beautiful as they do.
Yeah, I have a special one this season that was inspired by some real life events. But I look forward to seeing that on stream as well. But yeah, as you said, it takes. I've opened Blender before to see what it would be like to do a livery, and I screamed for about 30 seconds looking at all the options, and then I just closed and uninstalled it, because
Oh, I did that too.
my baboon brain does not know how all of the clicky clicky things work to get it going.
Yeah, there's far too many options and sliders for my brain to understand things. So yeah, I just randomly, post in Discord and pray that someone goes, "It's okay, I can assist you," and then I like stop being fetal in a corner, and it's fine.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, we always get some nice liveries coming out of the designers in the team, and there's so many good designers in OOR. And if you're not familiar or if you're new here, be sure to jump into the Discord. You'll get all the help you need. We have a rookie series, we have a sprint series, we have an endurance series, where we will be at Silverstone in a couple of weeks actually, for a 6-hour endurance race, and we have
The GT
the
Cup as well.
Motorsport Australia Sim Magic Octane Online Racing GT3 Cup, uh, Round 2 Electric Boogaloo. I'm not. It's quite a long name,
A long
but
name.
that is starting on Friday, and that will be the very best of the best in the region. Just absolutely sending it around Silverstone, and I'm very excited to see the class and the quality of racing we'll be seeing with that league.
Are you taking part in that league?
I am not. I have this thing called a wife and a child, and
Ah, yes.
it's a Friday night. So apparently, you need to spend time with your family during these periods, and I don't know. So I've decided to not race and not get a divorce, basically. So
Yeah, look,
yeah,
I respect it. I'm coming from a similar path. I have child, as we get the nice screenshot there of the Motorsport Australia Simrig GT3 Cup Round 1 of Silverstone, kicking off on the 21st of July. Sim Magic, sorry, I
yep,
made a
magic.
mistake on that one. But yes, that's kicking off Friday, 21st of July. I think it's about 8 o'clock Eastern Standard
Yep.
Times. So
Anyway,
get involved.
but that is for later. For now, Strelnikov and Hind is leading the field down to the start-finish line. We have Benjamin Ignat, Jovan Lee on second row, Tom Maloney, Luke Johnson on the third row, Luca Jacoman, Liam Hamilton on the fourth row, and Hingston and Brown on the fifth row. And we are about to go racing for round 1 of season 14 here in the Simrigs Sprint Series, Octane Online Racing. Strelnikov is well ahead. Hind is really out of position, and we are about to go green, and we have gone green. Hindy has really botched that start, and German Lee with a beaut of a start in that pink McLaren. Bit of a moment there for Maloney, bit of contact between Lee and Hind, but he manages to get back on track. Now it is side by side with Luke Johnson and Luca Giacomo, Tom Maloney behind him, side by side as well. Tom Maloney with the brave move. It doesn't quite pay off. He manages to save it. Bit of contact there between the BMW and the Ferrari behind him. David Barker squeezes up the inside of the BMW there, gets given the space, and we
Oh,
have a safety car. Ooh, that looks like a fair amount of chaos in the background there, and some
I
contact on the
don't think
safety
they
car as well.
understand there's a safety car. That car is still racing. They will have to probably readdress some positions there, hopefully, but the stewards will jump onto that ASAP. But that was a lot to unpack in a very short period of time. But I think looking at the start there, I could be wrong, but going with Connor for a second, the fact that he joined the server late, would have he had the right widget section to start with? So maybe he was
Well,
going off
there's no widget,
exhaust?
so we don't use the widget,
Oh, yes. So maybe
so
he
it would
just
have been
only.
fine. I'm not
Okay.
100% sure what he was doing there. He was way out of position and then got caught napping on the start as well. But Jovan
Yeah,
Lee
geez.
said thank you very much, and he grabs P3. And Benjamin Hicknet gets into P2 there as well, with Hindy losing out, dropping down to P4 and Luke Johnson in P5 behind them. So Tom Maloney, the big loser out of the top 10 there. But I think we will get a replay of what happened towards the back of the field to see what exactly caused the safety car.
Yeah, it definitely happened further into the late mid pack, I believe. But yeah, Tom got lucky there. Somehow he managed to keep that McLaren from going sideways across Maggots Beckett's. And I think there was a bit of an accordion effect that may have taken a few drivers by surprise. But nonetheless, they all did relatively well to avoid as much carnage as they did towards the front. But yeah, we'll get something eventually when we get around to it. But spicy start for AP Green.
Yeah, I suspect we might get going. Haven't seen anything pop up about safety car coming in this lap, but we are trying to leave it at 1 lap, so we will see if Strelnikov takes off as he exits here. Will he go at full tilt? He's holding it, he's holding it. I'm not sure if the safety car is in. Must be still on track, so no, they're still going slowly. Lee ahead of Hignett there, he needs to drop back a little bit.
Careful, although Ben has
Are
left the inside.
they going? Oh, what is... Okay, I'm assuming the safety car is still out.
Be
Okay,
another nap. Yeah. Okay.
fine. This is a little bit confusing, but yeah, it looks as though during the start there with when Maloney had his incident coming to Maggots and Beckett's, I think Hingston and a couple of drivers behind him checked up, and there was very light contact, and then I think maybe just further down the field people overreacted or maybe underreacted, and there was some chaos. They look like they're going a bit faster now, but not quite race speed, I would say.
Probably just been told to up the pace a little bit. I think standard safety car we sit down at 80 initially, and then once everything sort of gets uniformed a little bit, we up the pace to just over 100k an hour, I think. But that ends up to the discretion of the race director at the time. But yeah, as I said earlier, trying to just limit the safety car time so we can get back to racing, so we can show all you lovely people how good we have it here at OOR, and also get the drivers back in the heat and the mix of it all. So this will be probably in this lap with only one car in the pits at the moment.
I'm wondering if it would be, I don't think it would be worth the gamble, but the option is going to be there to pit at the end of this lap. Because it's the pit window will open while they're still on this lap to maybe clear that sort of mandatory stop. I don't think it's worth it because you'll be running so much fuel that you'll be going slower, but
and your
for somebody
tires at the end of the stint.
Tires for sure, but somebody who maybe got caught up in an incident who's running further down the field where they don't want to be fighting through the traffic or something like that, they might be able to get that stop done and try and run long and maybe gain some positions doing that. Not sure it's an optimum strategy, but it's certainly an option.
And it's definitely one of the two there. But I don't know, would you like a... Oh, here we go, we get the replay of what happened here. There goes Tom off a little bit.
Check up there behind him.
Oh, there's it all in the back.
Oh no!
Oh.
Okay.
Stop! He's already dead.
Okay. There's an Aston Martin and a McLaren there getting very intimate there. So Miller there next to a McLaren who
takes a very shallow line.
Yep. And he runs into him, and everybody else also runs into. Oh, that McLaren took a lot of damage. I think that was the driver we saw in the pits there, Ray Smith, as we are coming into Brooklands and Luffield, and nailed it again.
You've got it right.
Strelnikov will be leading us away. Safety car is away. He is in control of the field now. He can go whenever he feels like it. Will he wait a little bit or will he go early? It's really backing them up, holding them. He's gone. German Lee with a great reaction there, and the Ferrari acceleration is not as good as the McLaren's off of the line, and German is right on him. Will he be able to do something into turn 1 here? Not quite close enough, but he's very, very close. Connor Hine got napping a little bit again there. That's very wide. And that is German Lee next to Benjamin Hignett coming into Maggots and Beckett's. He's ahead by a nose, and he takes the position. That is a fantastic restart there from Lee. Moves up into P2.
Yeah, that was very well done. Good awareness from both drivers there. Like, as we say, it's not as often as you see, but some of these drivers at the pointy end of the field, let's use Ben for example, must have known he was compromised, knows there's 50 odd minutes left in the race. It's easy to just sort of go, you know what, I'll just sacrifice one corner, go on with my business, as we see Cohen get right on the rear bumper there of that Castro livery of, what's that, 19 of Johnson. So that looks like it was a bit spicy. Gonna see stick the nose up. No.
Optimistic thinking there from Giacomo. Looked like he wanted to send it up inside there, but yeah, as you were saying, I mean, I've driven against Benjamin Hignett quite a few times in different leagues or in different series, and he has phenomenal racecraft, really good race IQ in terms of knowing when to battle and when to back out. So he definitely didn't make it too hard on Lee there. Probably could have fought it a little bit harder, but just sort of discretion, the better part of valor there. Back out a little bit and live to fight another day. But yeah, look at Giacomo here, looking very, very racy. And Luke Johnson is not somebody who's one to back down from a fight. So I think this might get quite exciting for that P5 at the moment.
And Tom's right on the rear end of Giacomo as well, and he was a little bit faster in quality than Giacomo. So these drivers around here definitely got the pace, and as you said, they were slightly out of position.
It is rain in 30. Sorry to interrupt, but
No,
there is light
rain
in
is good.
30.
Hopefully it stays.
It's
And then-
very light rain, so it's literally a couple of old people standing next to the track spitting on it, but hopefully that will get a bit heavier. And Germany there with the fastest lap on the restart. So yeah, hopefully that's a pretty spicy lap time. But yeah, I think that is really going to spice things up. So 30 minutes, I'd be very surprised if any of these drivers have fueled long enough to run into the rain. So I think everybody will really be hoping it's only a light little shower and they can just stay on the rise. Otherwise, we're going to see potentially some two stoppers here from some drivers.
Potentially, but correct me if I'm wrong. I know it says 30 minutes is light rain, but isn't it somewhere between 10 and 30? So
I mean, it's when it pops up. That's 30
when
minutes.
it arrives, it decides to arrive.
No, what I mean is once it shows up, when it shows up, that's 30 minutes, but then it's still flowing through. So you might see it disappear, or you might see it get heavier within that 30-minute range, but it just means it's going to start with that. So it will start with light rain, but let's see how that evolves if it gets a little bit heavier. But yeah, that adds some excitement that we really are looking forward to.
Very nice. As we see the Porsche, they get a little bit compromised on entry, but managed to stick it. What's his battle for 14th? We got rain predicted in arrival in 22 minutes. Oh, there's some. Oh dear.
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's much contact. Very, very many contact. That is much more contact than we would like to see.
All the contact. Oh, careful of rejoins, people. Please be careful. Keep it safe. There is a lot to unpack there. I'm glad I have stepped out of the steward's box tonight and into the commentary box, because that's going to be a lot to unpack. But yeah,
so
big
we
shout out to
get
those
to
guys.
make fun of it instead of having to judge it, which is nice. Well, I mean, we still judge it. We just don't have to give it penalties.
Yes.
But we've gone high with a 57.5. Okay. Sweet.
Connor doesn't like
Baby
doing
Jesus.
58s. Yes. Maybe the thought of rain scared him, so now he's just driving faster to avoid it.
Does he know that it doesn't matter how fast he drives, he won't finish the race before the time runs out? So
I don't
see
think
a Porsche there dives into the pit lane. I think that was one of the cars involved in that incident there. Strelnikov opening up a 1.8 second gap already to Lee. Hind has gotten past Hignett. I'm not 100% sure when that happened, but it must have been in the last lap or so. Tom Maloney putting a lot of pressure on Giacomo here. Looks like Giacomo got a bit of a poor run coming through Maggots, Beckett's there. And then Maloney under pressure from Hamilton behind him as well.
This is starting to turn into a, 6-car battle? Because it looks like Hignett might start to becoming the cork in the bottle, so to speak. And everyone behind him being, within that half a second or less gap. So a bit of a train happening, as we all love to see, but top quality drivers nonetheless. As Giacomo is just absolutely sending that Ferrari all over the back end of that lovely McLaren. Let's see what the exit's like here.
Interested to see whether these drivers have learned lessons from the previous split in terms of pit entries, whether we'll see a fair chunk of that. As we get a replay here, this is on board with McDowell, who was in the pits. We see cars parked there, and he just
well done.
misses it. And then where is the contact? Because, or maybe this is a different Porsche, but I thought this was the one that pitted. No, this is the one that pitted. When did he get hit? Oh, wait, there's more. Oh, wait, but wait, there's more.
We
Is
are
there
now
more?
in the shopping channel.
I don't know. Is there more? Is he gonna?
He's just
Oh, yeah, oh,
decided
just
to go.
boxes.
Okay.
His Porsche looked damaged when he was rolling into pit, so that's a bit of a strange one. Look at Jacoman, very close to Luke Johnson here. Max has a little look there. Oh, so tricky to follow closely there. You get too much on that curb. Very easy to get a warning on the exit there, but manages to stay close to him. And the McLaren is very strong through Maggots and Beckett's. It's, I mean, the Ferrari is probably about a 10 for 2 slower, but that is really where the McLaren shines on this track, is going through turn 1 and Maggots and Beckett's.
Yeah, I've tried to follow McLaren through Maggots Beckett's, and it just doesn't happen. But it just doesn't. But then the McLaren sort of has a bit of a, I guess, the opposite effect through the loop. It's sort of a bit
Yeah.
under the power, just does not have anything. But yeah,
And to be honest, on the exit of the chicane as well, it's not fantastic out of there either. So yeah, it's just the high mid speed stuff. It's absolutely fantastic, but the acceleration zones, it's just struggles to get its power down a little bit there. But as you can see there, Jacoman just so much better on the exit there, coming down to Abbey. Not a corner where you want to be overtaking. He follows him through, but now is he close enough for a little look into the loop? He's not really, but coming out of the loop is really where the Ferrari will stand its best chance. Please don't send it up the inside. Okay, never mind. Let's do that anyway with a little bump pass there. Not unexpected, but he gets through, and I'm sure Luke will be calling his number there for the stewards to have a little look-see, as we see another couple of yellow flags at the back of the field. They can't park there.
well, they're trying to park there, but yes, not advised. But yeah, the stewards are probably going to look into that one. Not going to cast my decision because that's not my job tonight. But this all has opened up the door for Tom as well. Notice that the move was done into the loop there, possibly giving him an insight into how to get that McLaren. But McLaren v McLaren, you just have to wait for one to make a mistake or make the move very obvious as Luca just decides to put the foot down and start gapping Johnson here. As I said, Johnson could be the cork in the ball. Oh, no, I said Hignett, sorry. But Hignett seems to be getting his tyres up to pressure potentially now and finding his rhythm and his pace because he hasn't dropped that far off the back of Connor. He's actually gained about 4/10 in the last lap.
I think Connor may have had a bit of a poor lap the previous lap because he was only half a second behind German Lee and he dropped off a little bit.
Oh.
So maybe just a bit of a crappy lap from him there. Sean Miller here in his tribute Lamborghini racing colors livery that he got made for him. That looks quite nice. He's running in P15 or P4 in class at the moment. Although the fact that Luke Johnson still has a black plate is a bit of a mystery. He's always in that sort of top 5, top 6. But he is unfortunately prone to a couple of incidents, so that may have been part of the reason. But these drivers are very close to each other. Stefano Ricciuti currently the leading a Lamborghini, so Lamborghini is a very strong car in the game at the moment, but it doesn't appear to be its strongest track.
Just gonna dive into chat for a second here. Got a lovely question from your one and only brother, whose birthday it is today. So happy birthday to
Yeah,
John.
if everybody in chat could just sing
Everyone
happy
just
birthday,
happy birthday. Yep.
that would be very much appreciated.
But he wants to know, did you know that Silverstone is an old airfield?
No, that's something I learned today, which is good. I always like learning new things. Tell me more.
I can't. They came from your brother. So if you want to know more, speak to him because yeah, news to me as well. And hello, Meg. I saw that comment. I was getting there. But yeah, back on Muller now.
Yep. Tokobromoho, something like that. That's an interesting name. Asking what is Giacomo's top speed? I would hazard a guess of about 255. The sexiest Sonic.
Wow.
No, honestly, that is offensive. Very,
okay, race control. We need a poll.
very
Who's the
offensive.
sexiest Sonic Eye?
I don't think we need a poll, to be honest. Anyway, Tom Maloney, he's all over the back of Luke Johnson here. Luke Johnson with a bit of a crappy run coming into Maggots and Beckett's there as they come down the straight here. Will the McLaren have the legs on the McLaren? Doesn't appear to really be closing that gap. Excuse me. But Giacoman has very quickly closed the gap on Hignett ahead of this little trio here. So he has very, very quickly run away from this battle. He was no longer wanted to be involved, and he is chasing a podium position. So he needs to get past Ignat and then see if he can chase down Connor Hind ahead of them.
Yeah, someone else that would want to get the job done quickly here is Tom on the battle with Johnson here. He'll want to be seeing, oh sorry, he will be seeing the fact that Luca has sort of disappeared a little bit up the road and wanted to try and tackle. Oh, is that
I
a
was
blue
about to say that
flag?
looked like Hindy and
Oh,
German
it
Lee
is.
having a fight. There's Jack Coman. Another piece of contact there, and is he clear? He's almost clear, but Hignett will get a decent enough run. Jack Coman turns in as though he is not there, and Hignett.
Oh, they're still going at it.
Again, I don't have these two. Oh, there's some flashing there. Hignett not best pleased with. Oh, and he sends it up the inside there. Obviously not too happy with what was happening throughout the loop there, and he just decides to send a message by sending it up the inside, and he retakes the position.
Yeah, that'll all be reviewed by the stewards there. I don't think that's something they appreciate, but as we move on up the field there, on to Connor here, who's tacked onto the back of Lee once again. So obviously, well, that's a very wide line. I dare say that might add to one of his speed tokens. But yeah, he's definitely got the pace. He wants to get that P2 back for sure. As we watch the battle between Giacomin and Hignett once again fire back up. But this little heated tussle between these two has definitely brought Johnson and I was going to say Maloney in,
Oh,
but
Maloney
Maloney's not
takes
there.
the esports line through the exit there. That's really going to compromise him coming down to Stowe, as we see. That is Liam Hamilton having a run. Will he be able to clear him? Maloney is on the inside there. Luke Johnson with a bit of a wide line there. Those two behind them still side by side. Maloney slips back in ahead, keeps the position. But yeah, this battle between Hignett and Giacomin has really tightened up this battle and made it a group of 5 now.
Yeah, and no doubt at all. As our leader has also decided just, I'm going to see you guys later, being 5 seconds up the road from Lee. In a little world of his own. Just another day at the office by the look of it.
Yeah, no, Strelnikov really showing some phenomenal pace. Giacomin there. Oh, another boop on the back of Hignett there. Another contact there.
And another
Another
contact.
contact there.
Oh, God.
Another contact there, and yep. Okay, that's going. This is going very well for these guys.
As
Tom
Tom says,
Maloney
thanks.
gets gets ahead of all of them pretty much, apart from Hignett,
And so
and
does
that is
Hamilton.
Hamilton. So, oh, Hamilton with the send. Did he make contact there? I
No.
think he managed to avoid it. Very well done there. But that's allowed Giacomin to try and have a look around the outside coming out of Luffield. And Hamilton slips back ahead of him. But he would have had a good view of all the contact there between Giacomin and Hignett. And I don't think he'd be wanting any part of that. Giacomin trying a move into turn 1. Please tell me he is going to back out of it. He kind of does. He still leaves the nose there. Forces Hamilton to sort of just make a slight
But
evasive
Johnson,
maneuver there. But
hello.
Johnson gets a run and he backs out. So
Yeah,
there
smart,
is.
smart play there.
Okay,
Smart play.
yeah, there we go.
Okay, have a breath. That was a lot. But yeah,
Okay.
Giacomin racing very spicy. Potentially a bit of red mist there from all the contact between himself and Hignett, which is one of the hardest things we all have to deal with behind our little steering wheels and digital screens. But hopefully they can sort themselves out and get back onto some nice racing as we go on board here with Connor. Once again, only a couple tenths behind Lee at the moment, making sure that his Ferrari is all over the mirrors.
Oh,
As Rashid
Ricciuti.
sitting in P10. Oh,
Yeah, he has joined the battling up ahead of these guys have allowed them to sort of just barely tack onto the back of the group, and yeah, it just shows you what happens when you battle too much. You lose so much time to the cars ahead and behind you, and that you sometimes have to consider whether it's worth all that fighting.
and just going to also shout out the rain is still there, and that is a send by Luca again, but more contact. I'm sure
It really is such a frustrating corner, that,
it
because
is.
people send it up the inside and it's really not an overtaking spot. It's just because you have to take the wide line to get an effective line out of there, but people take that as an invite, and then you see moves like that. Oh, a little bit of contact there from Hamilton on the rear. Nothing too bad from to see a couple of cars going slowly in the background again. There looks like car 88, I think, and somebody else was involved in that as well. But yeah, just a quick shout out there to Haki in P17, lead AM driver. He is first time I've seen that name, Kerlandi Haki. That's
Yeah,
probably
that's
butchered that, but
better than I could have done. So yeah, but welcome to OOR Sprints.
yeah, first time seeing that name. But he is putting in a very strong performance for AM driver here in his debut.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he might be in his like alone, I should say, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of other names there that just scanning over him. I haven't actually seen a lot of them before. So welcome to your first season of Sprint Series, if that is the case. And if you are looking at potentially joining, I think there might still be some slots open. So jump on the website and get the registration happening, and you can probably join us for round 2.
Yep, absolutely. Always the more the merrier. Definitely want to see some new faces in the league. It's always exciting, and yeah, if you reckon you are good enough to step it up against the pros, unfortunately, I think the classification has closed for the GT3 Cup. But yeah, there's always going to be probably a next season. So you see Ray Smith there getting a penalty for lap 1 collision. That was the incident going into sort of Maggots and Beckett's there that we saw causing the safety car. So only a 15-second penalty, so not the end of the world there.
Considering some of the incidents that can transpire at certain races, 15 seconds. Yeah, look, it's a big stick to get slapped with, but there are definitely harsher ways to go about things. So, and especially in the 1 hour sort of race, yes, 15 seconds can be a lot, but if you've got some pace, I mean, you just drive through the pain, really.
Yep, exactly. As we see, so according to the boffins doing the statistics, the rain is going to arrive with about 22 minutes remaining. So far, it's staying on that very light rain. It doesn't look like it's going to be heavy rain. Now, the question is, if you're gonna hind and you're not able to get Jovan Lee, do you try and pit early to try and maybe get an overcut done on him if you think you have more pace? Or if you have enough fuel to extend until the rain comes, do you wait to see if the track maybe goes all the way wet and requires those wet tires? At the moment, it doesn't look like it's going to get there, but it'll be interesting to see how this, how the drivers decide to play this strategic battle here.
It all depends on how much fuel they put in at the start too. I mean, I think most drivers would probably only put maybe, I don't know what, 60% at maximum duration, so that the last stint is a bit lighter on the fuel and you got fresher rubber and all that. So they might be trying to extend that window slightly to see if they can see that next tick over in the weather forecast. But it's definitely anything can happen at the moment with the rain floating around.
Yeah, we will see probably in the next 3 or 4 minutes that the weather widget will tick over, and we will see the next 30-minute prediction and get an indication of what to expect towards the end of the race at least. So yeah, definitely that's what really makes this game so exciting, or really brings out the fun in the races, is when you actually need to try and figure out where you can benefit during the situation and what tires are going to work and when is the ideal time to pit, and it really brings a lot more into it than just making the car go fast.
Yeah, indeed. Speaking of tyres, we have a question in the chat there from Chris. Would it be better to have tyres nice and warm or fresh dries after a stop come light rain? I think, for me personally, I'd rather have warm tyres because I think you can maintain heat better than trying to get heat into them. Plus, I think graining is still an issue when it comes to going from wet to dry or dry to wet and vice versa, or etc. But I could be wrong. I'm also not that smart of a race engineer, so very chance I could be wrong of all kinds.
Yeah, and I think I agree with your assessment. As far as I know, the graining isn't as much of an issue, but as you said, to have that pressure in the tires already, maybe will just be a little bit better than having to try and get any pressure into them on a wet track. As we see Dennis Strelnikov here with a fastest lap of a 57.4, which I think 90% of drivers would be happy to do that in qualifying.
I would be
As we
happy to
see
do that in
there, it
qualifying.
has upgraded now to heavier rain in 30. So if that type of rain starts falling, but if you look at the timing, that's after 30 minutes from now. It's going to be with about 3 minutes remaining in the race. So you should be able to keep the car on a track for what's going to be 2 laps of heavy rain. I personally, I would say if I was Hindy at this stage, I'd get the undercut
Get the
done.
dries.
Put the dries on, and you'll survive on the dries for the rest of the race, even with that heavier rain towards the end there.
Yeah, I think with that small window of the rain, you can drive through the pain a little bit, even if it does go full wet. Yes, you'll be slow, but then so will everyone else. You'll lose too much time in the pits doing it that late in the race, in my opinion. As we jump back to Jones here, very I don't mind the livery. It's basic, but I like it. But light rain in 10 with heavy rain in 30.
Yep.
Look out.
And just to show how entirely small this world is, Nick Jones, who is an Englishman, lives on the same island that I do in Thailand and drives in the same league based in Australia. So sim racing truly is a unifying thing as he dives into the pit lane. Hopefully he doesn't cock this up. It looks like a nice and safe entry there. He's going very, very slowly, basically pushing the car across the line, but definitely not getting a penalty for that type of entry. That is a livery.
That's interesting.
That's a JLS
Oh,
special, I would say.
DT. Is that a track limit DT?
Oof, okay. It's a very
Oh,
broken Ferrari as well. Where's the brown? He usually has brown on his liveries. He's dropped the effort this season, I would say.
that is a very unhealthy looking Ferrari, though, nonetheless.
As German Lee has decided to get the undercut on Hindy. So Hindy will really be dropping the hammer now, trying to get a couple of very, very quick laps in so he can potentially get ahead of Lee, and really hoping that Lee gets stuck in some form of traffic. What is Lee's number card? 29. We'll see where he comes out of pits. It does appear as though he's come out in a big pack there, which I think may be pretty detrimental to his cause here.
Yeah, especially if they have poor position. If there's some blue flags, they'll have to get out of the way, but at this stage, I doubt it very much. So, could be compromised. You want to get through those as quickly as possible. Yeah, Connor in free air now as we jump on board with Hamilton, who's looks like he's closed up the gap to Tom here. I think it was out over a second a while ago, and also Giacomo's gone back through as well, which I wasn't aware of that happening.
Didn't see that happening, but it looks as though Johnson dropped to the back of this pack as well. Barker even got ahead of him, so there may have been some excitement going on there that we perhaps missed. But anyway, we do have Strelnikov currently leading. His almost 8 seconds clear of Hindy at this stage. Hind running P2 at the moment, but that is not 100% confirmed as the pit strategy starts playing through. Hignet about 3 seconds behind them. Giacomo 1.5 seconds. I think that gap from Giacomo to Hignet is slowly coming down, and then Maloney about 2.4 behind Giacomo, rounds out the top 5 at the moment. Yeah, be interesting to see when they decide to make their pit stops.
And just on topic but off topic, how do you feel knowing that at the moment, Mr. JP, that your brother is apparently 55% in favour of being better looking than yourself?
That's fine. I mean, it's the fact that so many people can be wrong about something just shows you what's wrong with the world in this day and age. But yeah, Luke Johnson here trying to put some pressure on Barker, trying to get back into that sort of top 7 positions where he was running a little bit earlier, but it looks as though Ahmed Jusman gets a 10-second penalty there for causing a collision on lap 4. Seeing some more drivers pitting. Seeing Firelord saying pitting before the rain is a bold strategy. I think for a lot of drivers it's not necessarily a strategy, it's just how much fuel they had on board. Maybe it's just how they planned out the race before seeing the rain. We see Bobby Santo and Mike Rick there get some penalties as well.
I think the stewards are thinking they're Oprah Winfrey at the moment. You can have a penalty, and you can have a penalty. Everyone gets a penalty. No, we don't want everyone to get a penalty.
No, we don't want another split yellow. That's not what we're looking for here. Daniel Skakluna here running in P15 Menthe Westy Racing. So that's a livery that didn't load. Probably went for that Menthe official livery, but yeah, not quite showing. You see, Judgment there is running in P11, so he's going to be a little bit peeved with getting that penalty. It's going to drop him down a couple of positions as well.
Yeah, just a shout out to all those that are actually in the silver class there. You guys will probably be provisionally that for, I think, the first 2 rounds generally, and then will probably be promoted up and down accordingly. So if anyone was confused about that, we only do run the 3 major classes. The other one is just provisional for a time. As that looks like it was a nice power slide through the corner there on the Porsche.
Yeah, every time we go on board with a Porsche going through a high-speed corner, it's doing some funky angles. But Skakluna and I think it was Fercolini there close to him, just doing a good job of keeping it on the track at least.
Yeah, look, it's always, oh, that's a bit of a cut there, but not still technically within the limits. But I know there's a little dip there as well that if you drop your front tire and it can unsettle the front, or at least my attempt it is, or maybe I'm not that good through that section of the track, which is also a thing.
So yes.
Yeah, I was on board here with Tom, exit of Abbey, heading up towards the loop. Which I'll probably
we also saw Jacoman right on the back of Hignett again, so he's closed that gap back down again. And those guys are ready for another go at it. The previous one didn't end well for Jacoman, so...
Speaking of another battle though, Hamilton got a mega exit there. Rain in 5 minutes from race control. Look out, Hamilton might be looking to have a bit of a send on the inside here. No, decides better part of Velo, I'm going to back out. Oh, Tom leaves much room, many space, and maintains the line there. But it looks like a compromised entry and exit through the last corner there. Might give an opportunity for Hamilton to see if he can get a run side by side across the start finish straight. He's definitely wanting to get the move done, but 2 drivers side by side. Oh, Tom brakes heavy. Leaves enough room. Barely. Wow. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was some good racing by both of them there. Great exit from Hamilton coming out of the final corner, and Strelnikov is in the pits. I don't think he's really particularly worried about any of the drivers behind him, but hopefully he had a clean pit stop.
Dries or wets? What do you reckon?
He'll be on dries. I'd be honestly very, very surprised if anybody goes wets today, especially given how long the light rain is going to be. But let's see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, as Chad said, Lita didn't have enough fuel to make to the rain. Yeah, well, there is that chance. But yeah, a lot of people have a lot more fuel than I thought. What strategy are you going to use tomorrow night, Pete? You're going to have a bit of a longer run?
I don't feel like it's necessary for me to divulge that information before the race happens. So I'm just sitting here watching, learning, and seeing what works. But yeah, it looks as though Hamilton does have a little bit of a pace advantage on Maloney. But speaking of pace advantages, Jacoman with a great exit there. Again, this contact is just so unnecessary. Do these guys understand that the cars are physical objects that don't just move through each other? But anyway, it looks as though Jacoman has officially gotten past this time. Benjamin Hignett not returning serve on this occasion, and hopefully Jacoman can at least clear off a little bit so these guys can start missing each other. But yeah, currently Hindy is leading and Jacoman dives into the pit lane. So
Was that really necessary with that move? But look, we're not those two in the battle, so yeah.
track position is king, as they say. So let's see where he comes out in relation to German Lee. I mean, he will be a fair chunk behind him, but whether they were able to close the gap. And Hindy will surely be pitting soon. I don't think anybody has enough fuel to run long enough until the track is fully wet from the rain. So yeah, everybody would have to go onto the dries, I would assume.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty safe bet. Plus, a dry line would form relatively decently with what have we got, 33 drivers or something on the grid at the moment. So
Yeah, the thing is the cars or the dry tires still work decently enough on a damp track. It's obviously very tricky. But if the track just does go. Oh, that's a bit of a moment there for Lee coming into Luffield there. He stays out for another lap, so he has a lot of fuel on board. And Giacomin is coming out of pits. Oh no, never mind. Lee pits already. I'm a moron. Giacomin is ahead of him. Giacomin has cleared Lee. Not by much,
Not by
but
much.
he's cleared him. Oh no,
Let's
actually,
see,
by much. By much.
It's actually, that's by a
It's
little bit
actually
more
by
than we
much.
thought.
Yeah, no, that so John Lee really he's I think getting stuck in the traffic that he was in really cost him big time here. And just show that's the Glini parked up by the side of the road. That looks like some technical difficulties or running out of fuel.
That might be a fuel issue.
Yeah. Was that fuel? It looks like fuel. Surely he could have coasted a little
I
bit
was saying,
further
could
than
have
that.
posted probably. Yep, no, fuel's
Fuel,
gone.
yeah, okay. Oh, and
Oh,
the rain
there's the
has
rain.
started. Okay. Oh, and
Oh, there
this
we go.
is where the fun is going to start. So
Fast
has
track
gone
already,
fast.
instantly. Jesus.
Okay, so
Rain
that,
increasing in 10 as well. It's got the little rain plus symbol there.
yep,
We will get a little bit more of a, possibly
track
a
is
damp.
greasy.
Wow, that went quick.
We see our first victim of the rain there. Susanto had a bit of an oopsie doopsie. But I don't know. Now the question is, how quickly will that track go damp? If it goes damp, the wet tires work about the same as the dry tires, I would say. So that's going to be a very, very interesting.
Up the TCs, ladies and gents, and just pray. That's generally my strategy when the rain starts coming. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh,
Oop,
no. I would say
Jacoban.
by the fact that he's gone incredibly wide there that wets were not the option.
I don't
That
think
he
he
has
is on
to.
the wets. I
Oh
think it was
no,
the
that's
question. Whoa.
that's dry. That's dry tires right there.
Yeah, oh, I'm not sure his pants are still dry after that, but he managed to keep it going the right direction. I think Connor Hine has really sort of played this to perfection potentially here. If he can jump on those wets, if they're going to work, it's going to be interesting as we see there. Jacoban is on the dry tires. Be
So
interesting
is
if we can just pan through the field quickly to see. Yeah, there we go, dry, dry, dry. If we're going to see anybody.
Oh,
Oh,
there's some wet.
there's some wet tires there. So that's the Glini obviously having run out of fuel. There's only one car on the wets at the moment so far. Question is,
Oh,
will
there's
he?
another
Oh,
wet.
there's one more, but he is right at the back of the field, so very difficult to. There's
There we
one
go.
more Vic
Cook's gone for
Cooks
wets.
and Mike
Ricky's
Crick.
gone for wet.
So nobody, oh, as we see, Hindy comes in. Oh, it's the. Oh, God, he managed to slow
Oh,
it down. Hopefully, he has time to untick that damage that he
uh,
just gave
wet
himself.
or dry.
Sure, I would. I don't know. I didn't see the track conditions. If the track conditions are damp, then go wets for sure.
No, the
But
damage won't be too bad.
no, it won't be too bad. But you don't want to cost yourself that extra second or two in the pits.
No, definitely not.
So now yeah, as you said, good question. Will he go onto the wets? Will he go onto the dries? We see Hignett, Hamilton, and Maloney all dive into the pit lane there as well. So that is everybody out of the top 10 finishing their pit stops.
I think you'd have to go wets now with 20 minutes remaining.
Yeah, especially if the rain is going to increase soon-ish. Yeah, you might take the gamble. I mean, the wet tires can take a fair beating on a dry track or dry-ish track. It's greasy, so they won't be affected too badly. But yeah, going to be interesting to see who makes that call out of that sort of top 10 drivers who have completed their pit stops already.
Yeah, be wondering if any of them will take a second stop if it does get a little bit more. The track has gone damp. We are on damp conditions.
Dramps track. It's very
Yes,
dramp.
yes, brain dramps words hard.
Is Hindy on the wets? If he's on the wets, he could potentially win this race. I think that thing is still taking some time to update. There we go. Strelnikov is in the lead still. Question is Hindy on the wets? He is on the wets.
Ooh.
He's made the call and the track has gone damp. I think that is the correct call. And I think Strelnikov may be
Oh,
in trouble
Hignett
here.
wet.
Everybody's gone
Hamilton wet.
wets. Chickerman's on
He's
the
still on the
dries, and
dry.
he's lost out to Hamilton already there. Maloney is on the wets. Yeah, these drivers who have made the call to go on the wets have got it right. And I think Strelnikov and Chickerman are in trouble here.
Yeah, and I think yeah, might need to add a bit more fuel in my strategy tomorrow. As chat is looking like that might be the same idea. Because if it does go a bit of a late rain, it might be the big shout here. We'll have to wait and see how it unfolds. Because as I said, our race leader here is still on the dries. But what was he? 3 seconds ahead of
Well, he
Connor at
was
the
8
moment.
seconds ahead before the pit stop, or
Oh, that
nearly
is
8
true.
seconds. So
See,
let's see
that
how.
gap
Oh,
is
that gap.
close.
Oh, yep. Okay.
That gap is very close. So that's
He's
another half a
taken
second out in the sector.
exactly. He's made the wrong call. I mean, obviously he didn't have the fuel potentially to run as deep as others, or as long as he runs deep into the corner there. But yeah, he's not on the optimal strategy here. The question is, will those tires be okay to the end of the race? The dry tires work on a damp track. They do not work at all on a wet track. So it's gonna be a interesting ending to him here, as we see somebody going very slowly to exit towards Maggots and Beckett's there. Hopefully he doesn't. He's getting moving again.
Yeah, also just saw Connor take out another 3/10 in the last sector on our race leader as well. As Giacomo has decided enough of these dries, do not want. They can go in the bin. I need some wets.
Yeah, that is. I guess that is the only call he can really make at the moment. Is get on those wets as early as possible and try and sort of regain some time, but he will lose out a massive amount to. Well, I think he's going to lose an additional minute basically. So Strelnikov will need to make that call at some stage, whether he does it or not, or whether he just decides to take the pain and go to the end of the race on these dries.
You know, as we probably know, that there are some corners that, or some sections of the track at least, that the dries won't actually be too bad, still in these damp conditions. But obviously, like we saw the last 2 corners before, very bad with the dries, especially into the high braking zones, things like that. It might, the dries won't be exactly happy with the decision of it, as we see Connor literally almost on the bumper here. So the wets definitely have the pace advantage at the moment. So I'd like to see what Dennis actually does here in terms of coming in possibly this lap, as Connor decides, do I go for a no? No, he's going to
He
wait.
doesn't need to. He has,
He's going
has
to
such a
wait.
pace advantage at the moment. The question for Strelnikov is the gaps behind him are fairly big. So that's a bit of a moment for Hind there. So if Strelnikov pits again, he's probably dropping to what's that, about P10 or somewhere
Yeah, I
around
was going to
there.
say P8, 9 maybe.
Or does he take the risk of staying out, losing maybe 3 to 5 seconds a lap? Um, and will it be a bigger loss than a pit stop? That's the question at the moment. It seems
So
as though he's thinking he's going to stay out and try and mitigate that gap.
yeah, I was gonna say what? So you got about 7, maybe 8 laps left of the race, in just over
So they
15
do
minutes.
2 minute 10 laps at the moment.
Yeah, 30 seconds pit stop time plus transversal. Or yeah, you might not be thinking the strategy's a good shout there. You might want to stay up there in the pointy end.
I think as long as the track stays damp, the time loss will be sort of manageable to keep him in the top 5. Once the track goes wet, then he's going to be losing 8-10 seconds a lap, and that is when things may very well fall apart for him very quickly.
And as we know with all things with racing, it's one thing to catch, but it's another thing to pass. Because I think we're about to watch a bit of a display of defending here, potentially, because even though he's on the better tyre, probably for this part of the race, you still have to wait for the driver ahead to make probably a mistake or get the better drive out of corner. But at the moment, dry tyres or not, showing us how it's done, but that was a beautiful exit there for Connor, but not long enough on the Hamilton straight here to probably get the job done. Has to duck back in. Ooh,
The problem Connor is sitting with is Hignett is quickly catching up to him as well, so he needs to clear Strelnikov as quickly as possible here. Otherwise he might come under pressure from behind, and is not what he wants to be dealing with at the moment. But Strelnikov's doing a great job on those dry tires, keeping position and really affecting Hind as much as he can. Just look at how much that gap is. Whoa, okay, I say that as, does that count as a curse? I'll take it as a curse. But yeah, there we go. Hind takes the lead, and Hignett is right onto the back of Strelnikov now.
Oh, heavy rain in 10.
Yep.
Look out, it's going to go wet. Yeah,
I mean, we
Hignett's
were
gonna go
expecting
around
that
the
for
outside.
the final 3 minutes. I think we were expecting the heavy wet. Is Strelnikov boxing? No, he's staying out. So I think he's committed to this. And
I think at this point in the track, you just have to. You've sort of the window of opportunity to make up that gap you would lose out in the pit transversals over. So I think it's now, you know, take your pain medicine and get on with the job, because you've got still 3 seconds to Hamilton, and then another 5 to Tom, and then I'm not sure how far behind
it's
our
about 16 seconds, I think, to
You
who
might be
the
able to
last
hold on to it.
update. Yep, that's why I'm thinking P5 might be the potential, but we saw 19 seconds there between who and Maloney. We saw how much time Strelnikov lost in that sort of middle sector. The Hignett is looking absolutely rapid in these wet conditions. Maybe he's got his pressures a little bit more spot on than Hindy did or something, but he is looking absolutely on it. So Hindy is not going to have it all his own way in these last 12 minutes.
No, I think from memory, every time I've raced or seen Ben deal with the wet, he's always been exceptionally good. And it doesn't look like this is going to be that much of a problem with him as well. I just love watching the steering inputs when you actually you don't think it's that bad when you see it from the outside of the car. Oh yeah, they're doing a good. Chat, we'll be back with a stream soon.
The YouTube stream is still up.
Oh,
And
there
there
we
we go, we're back
good.
live, so now there won't be any delay anymore. But it looks as though Hind got a very good sector there and he pulled a little bit of a gap. But Hamilton is now right on the back of Strelnikov already. Hind a little bit deep into there.
Discord issues. Yep. Good old Discord. Always going to cause a bit of an issue here and there when it needs to. But yes, Hamilton less than 4 tenths behind was our race leader on the dry tyres. As we see Hignett here well and truly wanting to see if he can get a move done on Hind, as well as Hamilton here looking very pacey as well at this late stage of the race. And I think it's just a matter of time before this track goes from damp to wet. Tom also looking very pacey. He's actually closed that gap up on Hamilton, I think just under a second that lap as well. But now dealing with a few potential blue flags. G. Coman sitting P10 after his 2 stoppers. Chasing down our silver class driver, Justman. I probably butchered that name and I apologise in advance. With Lee sitting P11, only 3.5 seconds behind Giacomo. So yeah, that even with the second stop, I think. Or did Lee take wets? No, I think he took
no,
dries.
I think he boxed again, or he might still be on the dries or something. But he's also lost out a fair chunk through the strategy battle. But it just shows you. I mean, Strelnikov was half in a class of his own at the front of the field, 8 seconds clear, and just a bit of bad luck in terms of the weather rolling in, and he's lost out immensely, and he potentially has another 2 positions that he could lose before the end of this race. Well, at least another position, as Hamilton is past already. The timing thing taking a little while to update there. But Maloney 3.7 seconds behind Strelnikov, and that gap will be coming down very quickly. 3.8, sorry, as it updates there. But Hignett still all over the rear of Connor Hind here, piling the pressure on. He wants this win. And these 2 MRT teammates in endurance races, they won't be taking any prisoners in this battle. But I suspect it may be a little bit cleaner than what we saw between Hignett and Giacomo a little bit earlier. But hopefully they don't come to blows and we get a good clean finish to this race.
That was a beautiful exit there too by Hignett in that last one. Much closer than He probably has been throughout most of the track there on Hind. But just a quick toggle over to chat there. We've had a total of 15 pit speeding tonight, 7 for this split and 8 for the other. So yellow takes the cake for most speeding in the pits for a change, but that's still quite a lot.
Yeah, it's made me realize that I have to practice some pit entries tomorrow before the race starts.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Which is a good lesson to learn without learning it on track. See, Mike Frick has had a bit of an oopsie there at the exit of the loop, it seems, but I think Ignat has the pace on Hind in these conditions at the moment. He definitely looks faster, and as Chris Taylor points out, the top 3 at the moment are all 3 teammates in an Enduro car. It's a great exit there by Ignat. Hind goes defensive immediately. Ignat gets forced wide there, but he'll have the inside for the next corner, and he'll have the inside for the next corner as well. I think he's gotten this move done.
Oh, bit of contact.
Hindy turns in as though Hignett wasn't there. Unfortunately for him, the reality was Hignett was there, and the other reality is Hignett is now ahead and leading this race, and Hamilton is about a second behind him on track, so this continues to spice up as we head into the last 7 minutes of this race.
You love to see it, especially with them being all teammates as well. They've had enough of... Oh, God. Oh, speaking of which, there's they're almost side by side.
Hindy is ahead again.
Yeah, I think Ben may have had a bit too much, as we see Smith getting a 10-second penalty for blue flags. Always something that we try and strive for here in OLF. But yes, great move indeed, Mr. JC. But these 3 nose to tail. Top 3 separated by 4/10 of a second. Or no, it's 6/10, isn't it? You got to add the 2 together. Either way,
That's how math works.
It's close. It's close.
Well, they might drive in the same car, but they're so close. They're almost sitting in the same car at the moment. But Hignett just definitely has more grip. Like I said, I'm not sure if he has his tire pressures more dialed in, or if it's just these conditions suit him a little bit better. But he is really, really piling the pressure on. Got a bit of a poor run out of turn 1 there, and that's allowing Hamilton have a little look coming into Maggots and Beckett's. But the more these guys battle, the more Maloney is able to catch up.
Yeah,
They really don't want player 4 to join this game.
The McLaren has dealt with our other race leader, or previous race leader on the dries. He's lost out more time. But yeah, these 3 going head to nose to tail, I should say. I was going to say head to toe, but nose to tail is definitely going to allow Tom just to potentially close up that gap. And they may not even be aware of it, because being this tight in a battle, you do kind of get a bit blasé about who's a bit further behind. As we see Connor just defending beautifully there into the chicken, as we call it.
Especially in these conditions where just keeping the car on track is already 90% of the battle. Your brain capacity to deal with all of the other things happening in terms of who's closing and who's catching and who's running away is just diminished somewhat. But all 3 drivers doing a great job. Hamilton got a bit of a poor run through the chicane and Abbey there, but with the way that Hindy is, especially through the loop, he appears quite slow compared to Hignett. Look at the exit. Hignett is able to get there right on him, and will he be able to get a run coming down to Brooklands? I mean, it's Ferrari against Ferrari. Assuming the setups won't be too different, will he be able to send it up the inside? No, he makes Hindy think that it's going to happen, but Hind is more than awake. He gets the braking point just right there, and the battle continues.
Yeah, 2 very different lines there, but I don't think there was actually classed as a defensive one. I take more of that inside apex like Hind does, and Ben had that more of a late turning. But yeah, it could have just been a bit of a I'm still here, don't forget me kind of move. But Hamilton definitely has the best seat in the house to view this battle.
So we see Hamilton there with a 2:07.8 on the previous lap. I'm wondering what Maloney's time was. It seemed as though he lost out a little bit on that lap. The gap was 2.8. It's back up to 3.5 now. And these guys ahead of Maloney are just... looks like the car's on rails comparatively to how you see some other drivers drive in the wet. The track is completely wet now. It's 4 minutes remaining. The rain is heavier. The conditions are getting trickier and trickier as the laps roll down, but we only have about, I would say, another 2 laps after this one remaining. And Hind goes very deep into Stowe, but he gets a good exit still. Will Hignett be able to try something around the outside? He doesn't. Very important to get on the brakes at the right point there. This is some fantastic racing by all 3 of these drivers.
Yeah, definitely showing a high caliber of skill here between all 3. The fact that they can actually get that close and not have the contact is absolutely insane in my book. But yeah, 2:07.6 basically for Connor last lap. So all 3 of these drivers doing relatively the same lap time as Hignett got a much better run through Abbey there and trying to stick the nose up into the loop. Decided to go for a bit more of a wider apex, see if we can get the power down a bit earlier. Yeah, and we're just going to stay the stations at the moment. He's going to sit back into the slipstream of Connor here and see if he can maybe force a mistake, maybe have another go deep moment, but no, kind of parks it. Oh no, he has gone slightly deep, but not enough.
Oh, watch the rejoin there by Julian Gray. Hopefully it doesn't affect this. He does affect it. He should be able to get out of the way now, but that's going to compromise Hignett's exit as there's a car where he wants his car to be. Unfortunately, he can't quite get close enough. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. They are taking 2 minutes and 8 seconds a lap. That means we have 2 full laps of racing remaining, and this battle continues. And who is going to come out on top? I just want to hear who has bragging rights in the next Enduro when all 3 of them are in a car together.
Oh, you'd love to be a fly on the wall in that conversation, wouldn't you? No, I was better. No, I led more laps. No, but I got you at the end. No, I did this. Oh, it'd be fun.
I should go in the car next. I'm better in the wet. I proved it at Silverstone, remember? And yeah, Hindy is really defending well. That is Stefano Ricciuti being lapped. That is not something I have seen very often in the past. Oh, this is great for Hignett there as Hind gets a bit confused with what's going on with the back markers ahead of them. They are side by side coming into Vale. They have 2 cars going very slowly ahead of them. Hind misses his braking a little bit. He goes deep. This is, oh, there's contact there between Hignett and Hamilton. The Triple H here with Hamilton, Hind and Hignett in the top 3. Hind somehow manages to stay ahead after making a mistake, and Hamilton is still in P3. Hignett's still very, very close to him. Look how close he is. He drifts right behind him. Will he be close enough to do something into the loop? He loses a little bit there as he has to lift, but he's very brave on the brakes. Around the outside, there's a Mercedes there who does well to stay out of the way. Affects Hamilton a little bit. Hamilton will get affected, especially on the exit there, but Hignett's not too worried about that at the moment. He is still piling the pressure onto Hindy here. Just not able to find a way through yet.
That was absolutely insane to unpack, but hats off to these 3 to navigate such a minefield of blue flags, especially in these conditions, and racing that close and all other factors. As oh my god, Hignett is just trying every possible trick in his book to be absolutely everywhere that Hind isn't to get this overtake. But these 3 still only separated by a maximum of a second from first to third. And all this, Tom has actually closed up the gap to just over a second on the last lap. Here we go. One more time around, boys. Let's see what you can produce for us.
Oh, Hignett gets a very poor run out of Abbey there. Oh, is it Abbey?
Oh,
yeah, it's Abbey. Whatever. It's Cops. Hamilton closes in on him. Hignett gets a little bit deep into there. Will he be able to close back up to Hind? We have finished the timer, but we are on the final lap here. Tom Maloney, I don't think he's close enough to get anything done in this battle, but should these guys come to blows, he will be there to pick up the pieces. It seems as though Hind has had a very good first sector, and that's going to allow him to breathe a little bit, not be too stressed, although he's very slow into Stowe. And Hignett closes back up again. This is where things started to spice up on the previous lap. This time around, there's not much traffic. One McLaren ahead of them, but he is a fair chunk ahead. Hind goes deep again. Hignett very close to him. He makes contact. He touches him. He backs off to let Hindy go. Hamilton is back up to them. And look who has joined the party. Tom Maloney in the background. He is less than a tenth behind Hamilton as we come down into Abbey for the final time. what is going to happen in the final sector of this lap.
Everyone hold your breath. We've got like, what, 6 corners to go? If I'm not mistaken. So
Maloney up the inside of Hamilton.
Oh,
He
he
slows it
managed
down.
to
He's
do it.
through.
Does he hold it, or has Hamilton got the... No, he's actually ahead into the loop, but compromised exit potentially. Might give Hamilton a shot here into Brooklands as we come up. But
Oh,
Hignett
Hind.
still... Oh, Hind had a bit of an issue there. Hignett on the outside.
And he got a drive-through for track limits.
Oh,
Connor
dear.
Hind has a drive-through. Hignett only needs to stay where he is to take the win. Will him and Hind compromise each other and potentially hand this win to Tom Maloney? Hamilton tries up the inside there. Maloney manages to stay ahead for now. Will he get a good enough exit? He's not quite close enough to Hignett to get anything done. Connor Hind dives into the pit lane for some reason. He should have just finished the race with that drive-through. But Benjamin Hignett will take the win. Tom Maloney will get P2. And Liam Hamilton will take P3. What an amazing finish to this race.
Well, I don't know about you, but I can now take a breath. That was definitely a nail biter. Hats off. Absolutely top tier driving to the top 4 drivers there, being nose tail that close.
Yeah,
And those conditions.
Hindy is going to be spewing with that drive-through, but Strelnikov manages to get that P5 done. He managed to do it on the dry tires, and we have Who in P6 there, comes across the line to take the Pro-Am win. The first race that I've seen his name, but I think it's a name that we might see quite a few more times. Benjamin Vintner P7, Skrikluna in P8, and Luca Giacomin with a pretty good recovery there up into P9 after doing a two-stopper.
Yeah, look, I think considering the way this race went and the chances that can go wrong or right, just I'm a bit speechless to be honest here, Paige, and can't really pronounce words correctly, but that's fine. I just got very excited in the last 15 minutes of this race, so that's what we want to see here. This is a top level at its best. I mean, just outstanding all round. Congrats to the podium, and that's
there we go. He's found the squid hole there, and
squid hole has been found.
I mean, we were talking before the race started about the names involved in the split and just how good the racing could potentially be, and I think they've absolutely bloody delivered. Just one of the best races I've seen in a very long time there. But we see there Johnson rounding out the top 10, Jusman in P11, David Barker in P12, Gerlandi Hucky in P13, Jason Leonard Scott in P14. Unfortunately, he does have a 10-second penalty, which will cost him maybe 2 or 3 positions there. Sean Miller and Nick Jones crossing the line in P17. This is his first race as a Pro-Am. He was a Am class winner last season. So he is up there with the bigger boys this season, and a good performance from him in round 1 here, as everybody has finished the race.
Well done all round. And as we get to see now, once the session ticks over, we'll be able to see the final sittings for the opening round of Split Green. But my God, what a race to live up to.
Absolutely. As we get a final view here of the final results, Benjamin Hignett takes the win. Tom Maloney takes P2. Liam Hamilton takes P3. And Connor Hind drops all the way to P6 after serving that drive-through. In the Pro-Am class, we have Who in
No
P.
one.
We have Who in P1, Skikluna in P2, and Luke Johnson in P3. And then in the Am class, we have Gerlandi Haki, Julian Gray, and Richardson in P3. And I mean, it's. I don't want to make a call on it, but we have to select the driver of the day, I suspect. And who would your call be on?
Oh God. You know what? I'm going to give it to Benny. Purely just the amount of contact early on in the race, that car would have been a bit of a handful. He did drop back, and then just to absolutely send it through the wet like that, top strat. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Ben.
That's a fair call. I mean, he was phenomenal in the rain, but I'm going to have to give it to Maloney. He stuck it out. He closed that gap, closed that gap, closed that gap, and he just placed the car in all the right places in that final lap to go from P4 to P2. And yeah, great result from him there. But if this is any indication of what we're to expect from Split Green for the rest of this season, I can only say that I am very, very excited.
Yeah, look, it's going to be absolutely insane watching what these drivers can do, and hopefully, when everyone tunes back in tomorrow evening for Split Blue and Purple, I think I got those
Red.
colors correct. Red. I thought it was purple. My bad. we can show another masterclass of driving once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. As Noski said, we have 2 more splits, and then on Friday we have the Sim Magic GT3 Cup. So the racing continues. Don't forget to tune in. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, join the Discord, say hello, invite your mum. Everybody is welcome. This has been Simrigs Sprint Series from Octane Online Racing. My name is JP Sonicus, and I and Sean Bub now are signing off, and we will see you tomorrow.
See you later, chat. Thanks for joining us.